It'll kick in.
Yep, there we go.
And now it says 15 seconds. What is good, everyone out there with Count the Bucket? This is your boys, Nick, Andre, ATR. What does the ATR stand for? I always want to ask.
It actually stood for my old podcast, Above the Rim, but I never changed it, and I need to change it, but I can't I can't come up with another username, honestly.
Okay, that's fine. I've literally always wondered that. I'm like, really? And then of course me, Michael, your co-host. We're waiting on CJ to hop on here. He's having a hard time getting connected, so we just want to go ahead. We were sitting here talking injuries as we're watching the game right now, talking about knee injuries, ankle injuries, which one thinks worse. So I thought, you know what, this is probably good content actually to have on here. So before we get really going or anything, kind of wait for CJ to pop on here. Nick, how are you doing today?
I am fantastic. I had about 4 naps today. This is like my first real off day, so I'm well rested. I'm well rested.
Okay, 4 naps. I mean, that's great. Kudos to you. You definitely don't have any kids.
So definitely not.
Definitely understand that. But I say that. Listen, this morning, my sleep has been so.
My sleep is always bad throughout the week. Like I'll probably get a total of probably 5 to 6 hours a night.
Oh, really? Well, that's.
It's not bad, but
it's not good. I'm not trying to be like, but my job, I've kind of doing something different now. I work at Tractor Supply. I'm an assistant store manager there, so I'm the number 2 guy. I'm over our freight process. I run the team with that. And now just recently, a couple of weeks ago, I took over the recovery of the store, what we call after a freight. We kind of come in early morning. So I'm in there at 5 a.m. one morning, and then I'm at 6 a.m. the next morning. And it's kind of early. Sometimes it's after a show when we stay up to 11 o'clock at night or something. So it gets a little late, and then I've got to get up kind of early, and it makes it rough. So I sometimes go to bed, get 3 hours of sleep, try to work this early shift, and I come home and I die on the couch. I'll fall asleep, not even realize I'm asleep. My wife's like, did you have a great nap there? I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. She's like, you were snoring. Shut up. You were asleep. Okay.
For about 3 hours.
Yeah. So this morning, I literally woke up out of bed, got out of the bed because my son came in there and said, Mommy, I didn't sleep last night, and now I'm tired. And so I was like, get in the bed and snuggle up to us. Go back to sleep. It's early. But I finally got out of the bed at 8:30, and I actually woke up on the couch at 11. I don't know when I fell back asleep, so I woke up from nighttime and took a nap right away on the couch. It just happens. So, oh well. Hey, CJ, welcome to the show, big man.
What's up?
What's going on, guys? How you doing? It was a great story you just said, man.
Oh, thank you.
It's an interesting story.
About great sleep schedules. How you been doing, CJ?
Yeah, man, all is well. All is well. Glad to chop it up with you guys, talk some basketball. It's pretty long week. Pretty long week for me.
Come on, tell us something.
I was just about to dive in. It was pretty. It was pretty long week for me. Work was a little hectic, but yeah, my weekend was good. Spent some time with the missus, so just looking forward to get ready for the summer. Man, summer is about to come right around the corner, so trying to set things up over here on my side, and I think the future's bright for us. We kind of chopped that up last week, and just happy to talk some hoops with you guys.
Good, sounds good.
Definitely.
Summer is definitely coming. Now, what was it? Friday, at least here in Kentucky, it was over 90 degrees. It was hot.
Yeah, it was like 95 yesterday over here in the city. And
really?
Today it was like 90, 91, 92. So it was just a complete switch.
That's insane. In New York City, right?
In New York City, yeah.
So is it much harder once that you're in that city there? Because with all the asphalt and the concrete and just all the buildings, is it hotter when it says 90 degrees? Is it even hotter than that? Because
humidity, it could get crazy. If it's humid and 91, then it's a bad combination.
Really?
It's a bad combination over here, but it wasn't too bad from a humid standpoint. It was kind of just hot. It was just hot. So
look at this, boys. We got 15 people watching us right now. Wow. What's up, everybody? Thank you. Go ahead and hit that like and go to our Twitter page and follow us and all this good stuff. We appreciate you guys coming here.
Yes,
right
sir.
now, 29:32 on my TV. Mine's a little bit of a AKA bootleg, if you want to call it that. So it might be not exactly live, but it's live to me.
Well, so, on YouTube TV is 34:29, so you're not too far.
Not too far behind. I mean, we'll just call it a lag, okay? We'll call it a lag. But really, we jumped out. Golden State was up 19-7. I even put on the count the bucket Twitter page. Wow, 19-7. Golden State's all over this. I put hashtag Dub Nation and all this stuff. And instantly, Dallas came back as soon as I made that post. It's like they went on to a 6-0 run, and the next thing I know, they took a lead when me and Nick was waiting for CJ to come on here. What are we expecting on here? What's changed here? Poles now has 3 fouls early in this second quarter. What do we think is going on? Nick, let's hear from you because you are a Golden State fan. I want to know what you're thinking on this because I know from your everyday Twitter posts that you make, like I think on the clock every hour, you've been saying that you think Dallas is actually going to win today. So let's hear what you got going on.
Well, not only did I expect them to win, I was expecting this to be a blowout. Like at this point, I was expecting the Warriors to be down like 25 or something, just because the Warriors, we all know they are an amazing team. Yes, shout out to Matt, shout out to Cheese.
And he brings up Reds. This ain't the baseball show. Come on.
This is funny, but
we love you, Matt.
Oh yeah, definitely we love you, Matt. But the Warriors are just always like we all know how good of a team they are, how great of a team. I know a lot of us, particularly me, expect them to win the title this year, but they always find a way to beat themselves, and that's been their Achilles heel throughout the entire postseason. Yes, Draymond Green just got hit with another tech, or with one tech.
Ruins it for me. Ruins it for me. Good Lord, I haven't seen the tech yet.
Oh, my bad. I keep forgetting that you're behind.
It's okay. It's totally free, so it's fine. I can handle that.
My bad. But yeah, I mean, the Warriors are always just finding a way to beat themselves. I mean, which is crazy because I mean, even in Game 2, I know Steph had a good game. I know Kevon Looney had a good game, but even in that first half, we struggled throughout most of that half. We were down 19 points. Luka was just going crazy alongside guys like Jalen Brunson. Who else? Reggie Bullock and the rest of these guys. So I don't know. It's like the Warriors I guess they just always choose like when to turn on the switch and when not to. Mm-hmm. So that's really been their Achilles heel throughout most of the postseason. It's like whenever things are clicking, whenever everyone's in sync, we're a dangerous team. But sometimes that just doesn't happen on every occasion.
Okay, I'm seeing the tech happen right now. Technically, I would probably argue a little bit with it. I'm going to say this too, guys. The people that are still watching us, the 16 that we got that's viewing right now, man, get in the comments with us. Let us know what you all think is going to happen the rest of the series. What do y'all think is X factors? Get in the chat with us. Makes the talks go a lot easier, a lot more smoother, just to have an interaction with you. So definitely get in there. Draymond Green always is a tech threat. So I'm not surprised that he gets one. Here's the thing, and I caught myself thinking this way. I talked about this in one of our chats. I don't know if either of y'all seen it because I know y'all aren't as active on our group chats that we got going on. But I couldn't stand Tucker last year when he played for the Bucks.
Milwaukee, yeah.
Could not stand him in the Brooklyn series, Miami series. He just got on my nerves. But now that he's for Miami, and I was watching him just basically hound Tatum last night, which we'll get into that game. I was like, I love this dude. Let's go. And it's kind of funny and comical. When you like a team, you like those players. I couldn't stand Joakim Noah when he played for Florida. But when he played with Chicago with Butler and Rose and all them, I loved him. I was like, yes, that defense he brings, that just intensity he brings, love it. But could not stand him in college. Draymond falls under that same thing with me. Like, I can't stand him if he was on another team that I didn't like. I like him because Golden State's a team that everyone has to like some form of fashion. But if he played for the Lakers, I would hate him. You all agree with me on this? I mean, do you all have players that you think of that too?
I'm trying to think. Like, I don't think there's a player that I relatively hate.
Okay, what team do you not like? I don't like the Nets.
Okay, yeah.
I don't like the Nets.
For obvious reasons.
So if you don't like the Nets, but the Nets. Okay, what about Bev? because it's gonna have those attitude people too, like Pat Beverly. Like,
can we get into the like the Bev stuff?
Yes.
Let's go ahead because I'm finally on a commercial.
Goodness.
Y'all are probably like live in the third quarter, and I'm a second quarter commercial going on here. But listen, I've seen him on a couple of talk shows, and it's cool. I like how they bring him on. I like how JJ Redick does. I think he does good. Jefferson, I think, is phenomenal on there. But then they got Pat Beverly on there, and I'm just like, does this guy really think before he speaks, or is he just trying to make random comments to be like, I'm this good, like that's in his mindset. Like, I'm gonna make this comment because it's gonna make me look superior. Because some of the stuff he be saying, I mean, it's questionable. Come on, CJ, let's hear what you got over there.
Who is worse, Paul Pierce or Patrick Beverly as an analyst? Because Paul Pierce has some outrageous takes.
I'm okay with takes, but like Pat Beverly was just like shooting everything down. Like, it wasn't even like a flow or anything. Like, we're having a conversation right now. But they were kind of making comments like, oh, Luka's going to play much better when they go over here. And he'd be like, no, he ain't. I'm like, you just like killed everything with that comment. Like, what do you mean, no, he ain't? Like, you really think he's going to do that good? And it's like, they're talking about how Golden State will play very well if they make it to the finals against either Heat or the Celtics. And they're like, y'all think that defense ain't going to stop them? They're like, what do you mean? They're like, they turn the ball over. Like, that's awful. This East Coast defense is phenomenal. And it's good points, but it's just no characteristic coming off of him. It's just like dry. And I was like, man, like you got to get off TV. Like,
I was a fan. I thought I was a fan of it, man. He's different.
Okay, that's fine.
I like different. He brought a different aspect to First Take. Him and JJ Redick were going at it. Him, JJ, and Stephen A. I think that was a nice trio right there.
I didn't see First Take. I seen I think it was Get Up, or it was
Was it NBA Today?
This is in. This just in.
This just in. I think is what it was.
Okay.
And he was pretty much cutting everybody off, and I'm like, man, like. Every comment, like, there are some points that I could totally tell, like, it was a media personnel that was making a comment from their side. And Pat Beverly's like, no, man, you're not a player. You don't understand, which I like. And I could totally understand and get behind because, I like that perspective we're getting to see. But it was just like everything they said after that was like, no, all y'all are reporters now. Like, you're smoking dope trying to think that this is how it's going. And I was like, okay, like at first you cut them off, that's good, but now it's kind of keep on going here where I'm just like, okay, this is no fun now. But some mistakes were good.
Yeah, watch the segments he did with JJ Redick on First Take and Stephen A. That was when he kind of showed more of his personality. But yeah, when he was doing this, Matt, what's going on, brother? What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Carry on.
When he was doing This Just In with Max and I think Dan Graziano over there, he does kind of some NFL stuff. Brian Windhorst, it was kind of it was dry. It was dry.
Okay.
But the First Take segments were definitely animated. He was definitely talking more in depth about basketball. Obviously, him and Chris Paul have a beef or whatever.
Right.
He talked about it. He did an interview with Stephen A. on Stephen A.'s World. He was talking about how they had like a not an altercation, but they were going at it in this LeBron James camp back in like 2009, and that's kind of where it started between both of those guys. And then we know Pat Bev shoved them last year in the conference finals. So, and when he was talking about what how the Suns lost, I mean he had some points. I mean they were going at Chris Paul. I mean that's exactly what they were doing. Yes, it was a collection of everything for them to get clapped like that. It's a team thing, especially on your home floor. Ayton, Booker, Paul, they all didn't play well, but yeah, Chris Paul, they were attacking him, just like the people were.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thank you. Okay,
sorry, we can't act like that just didn't happen.
No, yeah.
I wasn't gonna say nothing. Yeah. I wasn't even gonna say anything.
Mom, get out! I'm with the boys. Sorry,
thanks.
We had to
guys.
That was funny. That was hilarious.
Yeah, it was. Anyways, go ahead. Carry on with the rest of what you were saying, CJ.
Yeah, CJ.
Yeah, so yeah, it has some.
Never been.
It has some animosity, but like I said, I like the personality, man. He definitely brought some personality to First Takes to ESPN, and then you saw Matt Barnes trying to throw shade at me. Everybody started defending Chris Paul. My thing was like, why is he any different from the other superstars that we talk about? Why shouldn't he be criticized like LeBron, like Harden? You talk about Harden not performing in the playoffs. I mean, Chris Paul. I mean, they're
Chris Paul did not show up at all.
Yeah. So both of they're right there. They're right there when it comes to that. I guess we look at Harden a little bit different. I don't know why. Maybe because he has the MVP. Maybe he's considered a top 5 player more recently. I don't know. But I think Pat Bev made some solid points. Yeah, it was some shade thrown at times, but it was different. I was a fan.
Yeah, one thing I will say, I loved seeing Pat Bev on First Take. I thought it was hilarious. I loved when he went on and he basically said, "Oh, I don't sleep when I got prepared for Chris Paul. I could go out in Phoenix, I could party, I could have a little wine, but when it comes to Steph Curry, I'm not talking to nobody. I'm sleeping at 8." I thought it was great as well, just to see, like CJ mentioned, different perspectives of it. And then a little thing I'll say about this game is Dallas better find a way to keep a hold. I know they're up by 8, but they did blow a 19-point lead in game 2 because they had no defense. So we'll see what happens here, and then we'll see what the Warriors do. But I wouldn't be shocked if Dallas does win this game, but ultimately, like, it's going to be the Warriors series to lose. They're probably going to win in 5-6 games, just because when you look at the Mavericks, they don't have depth. They don't really have a lot of depth. Like, besides Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson and maybe Spencer Dinwiddie, who else do they have? Like, there really isn't anybody else. It's just basically praying that Luka drops 40 a night and then praying that the other guys do well. With the Warriors, you got Curry, you got Thompson, you got technical foul Green. That's new code, but he plays great defense. And you also got Jordan Poole. You got a whole lot of depth there. And then also when you look at it, if Game 6 Klay Thompson shows up, it's over. It's over. So I'm just excited to see what will happen from there.
Like, I totally agree, and I think everyone would have that take that Golden State's the more dominant as far as players on the team that can score from anyone. But I feel like Dallas has just flat out bought into the role, and they're fine with who they are. Like, you got Dinwiddie, who can take over if he needs to on sometimes. I wish he would a little bit more. I actually think the trade that they made for him has been phenomenal for him. What's the other guy? Brunson,
Jalen Brunson, and also when you think about it, if they would have had Tingus Pingus still there, they wouldn't have been. They would have been
do not ever say that again in your life.
Isn't that what they call Kristaps Porzingis? They call him Tingus Pingus.
Never heard that.
Never called it that in my life.
CJ never called him that. No.
In New York, we never called him that, bro.
I could have swore there. I could have swore there was a video when he was first got drafted. I was like, who is that? Who do they draft? Some sort of Tingus Pingus.
Maybe that was Stephen A. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I could have swore I thought that was used. But,
yeah.
I'll just retract from.
That sounds wild.
I won't say that, but I'll just say Porzingis instead. If they,
I don't know if that should have been used for the StreamYard waves. Airwaves.
Oh boy!
If they had
first, he's had his mom come in with a towel. Matt, you got to take a shower after you get off the show. Next, he says Tingus Pingus live on the air twice.
Yeah,
I could have swore. I thought that was his nickname because he was so terrible. I guess not. I guess I was wrong. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is if they would have had Porzingis, they wouldn't have been in the conference finals. They would have probably been either a first-round exit or lost to the Phoenix Suns. But like Michael mentioned, they're bought into where they are, and that's kind of in a way how they got to the conference finals. Obviously with help of a classic Chris Paul meltdown. But, besides that, it's been pretty much full-fledged. And I think the Mavericks, you could also make a case they're playing way higher than expected. I mean, you look at 2-3 years ago, they were in the bottom of the Western Conference. And now here they are after drafting Luka 2-3 years in, and they're already at the Western Conference Finals. And now you look at it, they're at a point to where, hey, if we could add another guy with Luka, if we could add like a Bradley Beal or maybe a Zach LaVine in free agency, we're right there. We're right there with the tops in the West. So it's going to be interesting to see what Dallas does. And who knows? They've been down 0-2 before. They were down 2-0 against the Suns. Now, granted, the Warriors and the Suns are two totally different stratospheres. They've been
0-2 because that's home court advantage stuff anymore. Like, to us, I feel like we jump to conclusions on those. Oh man, they're just 2 wins away, or they're two losses away. That was 2 games at home. Like, to me, I think that's why they actually play them. Like, if Dallas doesn't win both, then it's a little bit of a problem. Like, I don't think really any team this far in is going to go and be swept anymore. So I don't even think they even worry about being down 2 or even vice versa. Golden State's like, hey, we're 2 games away from winning this. Like, we're going in there trying to steal a game. I think that's really the mindset of what they're going to do on this. But I want to ask this to you, Nick. How good can Luka get on this? Like, I mean, again, he's 23 and he's doing this, right? I mean, we have bought in that Luka is a generational player now.
Luka's a superstar.
No
He's
question.
a superstar. If you watch that game 7, and you still are questioning like Luka's status as a star in this league or a top 5, top 10 player, you're crazy. Like, to have a game like that against Phoenix, to really like, I know Dinwiddie dropped 30. I know Jalen Brunson had a solid game in that game 7, but Luka took over that entire game, basically by himself, to say the least. And he has solidified for me that he is a top talent in this league. And he's only 22, 23 years old, which
23.
has 23, which has a ton. He still has a ton of room to grow. Now, he still takes a lot of ill-advised shots as I'm watching right now. You know, he has a couple air balls in this matchup with game 3, but the talent is there. And the thing about Luka is that Luka, you know, he's kind of like, I guess you could say he kind of reminds me of Paul Pierce, not the same game or whatever, but they both move like they're both not as athletic, but they move relatively slow, and they move at their own pace. And that's the thing that's scary about Luka, is that Luka's not the most athletic on the floor, but he's just so dangerous with his shot making, his timing, his precision. Luka is, I got to think about it. I don't know if he's top 5, but he's right there in my opinion. Like, if you got to think about it, you got Steph, you got LeBron, you got Giannis, the Joker.
Embiid.
I don't. Yeah. Do you put Embiid over Luka?
I mean, it's close.
Honest, right now, if I'm starting a franchise, yeah.
Okay.
You put Embiid.
I would. Yep.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. I think that's debatable if you ask me. I mean,
it's like 7 guys where it's like, you know.
Yeah. Embiid has been an MVP candidate for a few years now, so I definitely understand that. But like I said, Luka's right there. Like, he's literally right there.
I mean, if I'm trying to win right now with a franchise, I think Embiid would be the person to go. But like we're saying, Luka is 23. Like, in my head, I keep going back to that. He's 23. Like, we've got seniors in college graduating that are just now coming to be rookies in this draft that we're expecting to be rookie mistakes, rookie times, you know. Luka is already the star on this team, and we're comparing them with players who've been vets, you know, have seasoned, that are at their peaks. Like, I mean, Embiid, he can get better, but not much better. Luka, his ceiling is so much higher still. I mean, the dude is 23. Like, he's still going to get muscle tone. He still may even grow a little bit more. Probably not much more, but maybe a year. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, he's going to get even more in tune with his body. He may get a little bit faster. I doubt it. But, I mean, the dude, what to me is scary with him is just his fierce, his attitude. Like, he is CJ versus the world, not against the world, because that's a horrible name.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's Luka versus the world here. So that's why I like him. Like, he's just his determination. Like, what he does, like, let's be honest, he's not very athletic. He's not a high-flashing guy who's going to cross somebody up and just make his awesome play, somebody fall down and, you know, stare at him like Harden did at the three-point line, then shoot it. Granted, he can make that happen, but he's just the determination to get a bucket is what sets him way far apart of other people, I think. And that's scary to me. Like, that's the kind of effort that you want. Like, they were talking about, or just showing here, I don't know exactly what happened. I got it muted. But he's at half court ready to fight whoever was coming close to him. And that's your superstar. Like, most of the time, I'm going to say the L word here. I'm sorry. The L word guy in the Laker land, if something goes on, he's 20 feet away from it. We all seen the Stewart incident where Stewart was trying to basically be like Nelly from The Longest Yard, going through everybody with no shoes on just to get to him. And LeBron was basically hanging out with the referees like, hey, what is going on here? Like, come on now. Like, you don't get that from your superstar too much, and I love it. What about you, CJ? Let's hear your thoughts on Luka.
He's an excellent player. He has high IQ. I mean, he's been playing at a pro level since 13, 14.
I was about to say that, and that's the thing too. Not to cut you off, like I think that's the advantage that like a lot of these European players have. Like overseas to be exact, like Luka, even Giannis. Honestly, I mean, I know Giannis came in at a very small frame, but he definitely had that IQ back then.
Mm-hmm. And even the Joker too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the Joker.
They teach fundamentals over there. It's not they know they don't have the most. Excuse me, they may not have the most athletic guys. But when it comes to fundamentals, getting to your spots, doing the right things, making the right passes, boxing out, playmaking, it's supreme over there. So once maybe if that athleticism could kind of get close to the Americans, we can start to see some some really fun Olympics from a basketball perspective here in a couple of years. So, but yeah, back to Luka. I think he's an excellent basketball player. So I think I would take him over a guy like Embiid. I know Embiid has a two-way ability, but for a guy to just be able to play make. He could get to his spots. I like the Paul Pierce comparison. He's not the most athletic guy, but he could shrug smaller guys off, post them up a little bit. He has that little step back as well. The only thing that concerns me is the way they play. They play like the Houston Rockets, 2017 to 2019 Rockets. They do that 5-out. Luka at the top of the key, ISO, and then if somebody shades off, kick it out to a shooter. We already know, D'Antoni. That's not the formula to win a championship. We've seen it, for years on end. I know this is what got them here. So they're sticking with it. I respect that. Mm-hmm. But if they want to win a championship, that's not the way to go. You have to have more. They have to go to the basket, drive and kick. You have to be more. You have to have much more of a fluid offense. And I just think right now it's that's why they've been had some leads. They had a lead and blew a lead, and then they got blown out in the first game. So it's just for the simple fact that they're living and dying by the three. These type games are going to happen. You're not cutting to the basket when there's no off ball movement, putting pressure on the defense. Everybody standing on that 3-point line. The offense can become stagnant, and I think that's why we're seeing a lot of blowouts in these Eastern Conference Finals so far in a couple of these games as well. And then for the thing that people say Warriors, they live and die by the three. Yeah, but no, because they also do a lot of action cuts. You see Draymond cut to the basket. He may cut to the basket and then draw the center and then do a dump off to Looney. Like it's much more of a fluid offense. And then there's times where, of course, you come off the screens for your two snipers and Thompson and Curry. So
almost I feel with Golden State, it's an offense that is designed to have spots that are going to be open. And they read the defense, they react to the defense, and that's the shots that the defense are giving them. And I think right now Dallas is kind of pushing out for the threes to protect that, and you're getting the Draymond drive. Because that one play a second ago, like you could tell Draymond was supposed to hand it off to Steph, come around on the curl, and it looked like Dallas was committed to trapping Steph, and Draymond just said, "No, I'm just going straight to the hole with it," and he got that layup. Yeah,
exactly.
So it's just them knowing ball smart to know what to take. And I'm sorry, keep on going. Then we'll get to you, Matt. And hear what you think on Luka.
And I'll just make the last point. Just right transition right to Matt. Like I said, Matt made a good point. They're going to have to find another guy, to complement Luka, a consistent 20, 25 point scorer. Brunson, he's good. I'm a fan. He's really showed his value in this playoffs. The way he stepped up in the Utah series when Luka was out for a couple games. He stepped up as well.
Beretta.
Better, but I like that. I like the comp though. It's a good comp. Smaller guy, brings some energy, can score. He definitely has that type of ability. He has a much more advanced bag in terms of handles and stuff like that. But he's a good player. He's a good player. I think he's going to get his money. Will it be in Dallas? I'm not sure.
Yes.
But I would hope so. But I still feel like even with Brunson, you're gonna need another wing. You're gonna need another wing to get it done. Look, we're looking at the Celtics, who I still think. We'll talk. We'll get into that in more. I still think they're the best team left right now. But they have two guys that can score 20, 25, 30 points any given night.
Absolutely.
And Brown and Tatum. So the Mavs are going to need something like that. We know what the Warriors have with their three guys, Draymond. So the Mavs, they need that as well if they want to be a championship team.
Absolutely. They have to get somebody to help Luka out there. I will say where I see Luka right now, I see Luka as potentially being like the next best player. If Luka continues
in the league.
Yeah, I would say so. He has a trajectory to be that. Now, is he the best in the league right now? No, but I think since with like Michael mentioned a lot, he's 23 years old. Like he's going to only get better. And I think at this point, you could put Luka potentially in the top 5, top 10 players in the league right now. And you also look at what he has done here with the Dallas Mavericks. And you also look at it. And if you want to be honest, if Luka isn't on the Mavericks aren't sniffing anywhere near the Western Conference Finals.
Of course not.
They're not going anywhere. So just look at the impact that he has felt, to this team. Like he's potentially like their next Dirk Nowitzki. Like just think, the Mavericks went from 21 years of Dirk Nowitzki to now potentially the next 10, 15 years of Luka Doncic. It's a smooth transition, and I think
Mark Cuban is lucky. Mark Cuban is lucky as hell, man.
Yeah, hey, he's a lucky man, but it's one of those where Luka as 100%. of right now, he's a great player. He's one of the best in the NBA right now. And I might even go as far as to say to start a franchise right now, I think the only 3 players that you would even mention would be Giannis, Luka, or Embiid. I think if you go either I think if you go, well, I mean, you could have Jokic there at like a number 4 or 5 if you want to throw in someone else at 5. But I would say like the top 5 players to start, you would have to include Giannis, you would have to include Luka, Embiid. You'd probably have to throw in the Joker as well because he's won back-to-back MVPs.
Yeah.
MVPs at this point, he has to give. I mean, when you look at it, Jokic is probably going to work on his 3rd one. He has to give the 2 to his brothers, for helping him out, and then he has to get 1 for himself.
He's not winning the 3rd. I guarantee.
I don't know.
You don't think he'll win the 3rd one in general?
I'm sorry. Next year, he's not winning the 3rd. Next year.
Oh no, there's no way. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
If he gets to 3.
I don't know.
The last one to win 3 in a row was Bird from 85, I think 83 to 86. So
really,
that'll put him in. That'll put him in some.
You with the facts dropping that
some elite territory, man.
I was surprised it wasn't Jordan.
Nah, Jordan never won 3 in a row.
But he did win 5 overall.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Just throw that.
So if Jokic's able to do that, that puts him in the.
If I were to gamble, I would say I would put money down that Jokic does not win this next one.
Yeah, I could see that he could be in the running.
So who would you pick?
He could definitely.
He does. Who would I pick?
Oh, he's picking his man crush Devin Booker.
No.
It ain't happening.
No. Yeah, everybody.
He ain't even pretty anymore, boys. What y'all talking about?
Is it because of how bad he played against the Mavericks?
Yeah, he didn't even show up for that.
Booker's in the doghouse.
Yeah, he couldn't perform.
Booker's
you want to.
Devin Booker's in the doghouse. Bam in the penthouse.
Yeah. All I'm going to say is I don't think Joker wins it just for the fact that there's too much storyline.
I mean, I'll be honest. I want to see Embiid win it.
Up there. I would like to see Embiid.
He did. He won most valuable Philadelphian.
I'm crying.
I mean, if you want to be technical, he did. I mean, look up the city of Philadelphia. They gave him the MVP, most valuable Philadelphia, which I think might be bogus because there's Rocky Balboa, there's AI. Like, there's a lot of valuable Philadelphians right there.
Dr. J.
Okay. Listen, Dr. J deserves way more loving than he gets in the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
As far as the history.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's top 75, isn't he?
Of course.
I mean, he should be top 50 at least. I don't even know where he's ranked.
But he's top 50. Yeah, of course he was top 50.
I want to say I used to hear stories of him jumping flat-footed. Let me back that up. I don't know if it's flat-footed or not. I'm lying. I could be adding to that. But jumping and putting quarters on top of the backboard. And then he would jump to get his change back down.
Yeah, that's some folk stuff. Yeah, some of these old heads, man, are crazy, bro.
No, you don't think that was true?
I mean, it could. I mean, you hear the same things about Will. Will could bench 500 and run a 4.3. I mean,
see, look, he heard it too.
I've heard about those quarters too.
We've all heard stories about Will, and a lot of them ain't got nothing to do with basketball.
Yeah.
That's also a fact.
Yeah.
That's also a fact.
Yeah, I mean, Otto Porter might be his long lost grandson. I mean, for all that we know.
Facts.
the candies are real suspicious.
Facts.
Real suspicious there, but yeah, just overall, I think Luka's going to be a great player. He's going to be the best in the league soon. Not right now, but soon. And then he'll one day.
I mean, he's close. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, he's definitely close. He's at least top 5, top 10, bare minimum.
Because I mean, let's be honest. Casual fans, and some of us are. It's okay. We only look for offense on how it goes. Like if a guy has 50 points for 5 nights in a row, he's the best player in the league. He could have 50 points and give up 60 points to a lot of these fans.
Well,
and they're like, oh, he's the greatest.
That would have been the narrative before, because here's the thing. Like, I remember, I think it was like 4 years ago, Devin Booker, he had like 3 or 4 straight 50-point games, and nobody viewed him as like the top player in the league at that time. So it was like, I think we're in a different era where like there's so much talent in the league now. It's like, it's not all about what you could do for like a span of like a week or a few games. It's all about like what you could do for me for like a whole course of a season. Like, we have so many weapons offensively, whether it's Luka, whether it's Trae Young, whether it's Jason Tatum, like, like a lot of these guys are so gifted offensively. So it's like, it's all about, how you can stand out amongst the others.
Well, and also the Suns were garbage at that time too. So even then it's like, oh yeah, you dropped 3 50 consecutive 50-point games. Like,
I think they lost all the games too, actually.
Well, and they also lost the same game where he dropped the 70 piece. I remember because I was in Boston. Yeah. The man went off for like 70 points and he still lost. I'm just like, I look at that. I'm just like, are you going to look at your teammates and be like, I dropped 70 and we lost. Either get me out of Phoenix or trade everybody, because there ain't no way I would look at that team the same. If I dropped 70, which I would never drop 70, but if I did drop 70 and I still lost, I would just look around and just be like, y'all a bunch of scrubs. I literally put the team on my back and nothing happened.
Matt, I gotta ask, did you play basketball in high school?
No. I did.
Oh, just wanted to know. I'm not calling you out or anything.
But no, I did. I did
man.
not. I did not. I did not play basketball.
My bad. I guess now it's even awkward because I asked what position you play, but now I can't follow up on that one. My bad.
Hey, it's all good.
I shouldn't have asked that on live. My bad.
If I did, I'd probably be like a good shooting guard or a small forward. I'd go along that route.
CJ.
I'm actually sitting next to the same guy.
What's up,
Yes, it is, man. We here, baby. 2023.
2023.
He had to throw out 2023 because I was gonna say you weren't here this year. You were here last year, but you weren't there this year. CJ, when you gonna start one of those change.org petitions on getting that dinosaur Tibbs out of New York?
Man, it's live in effect right now.
I think it should start with Randall first.
It's both.
Whoa,
combo deal. Knicks Nation, it's rough, but we here, man. Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
One thing I will say is Knicks Nation will always be stronger than the Nets Nation.
That's a given.
That's a given. Like the Knicks could go 17-65, and they would still have a stronger support than the Brooklyn Nets.
Of course.
That's kind of like the Lakers and Clippers, honestly.
Yeah, pretty much.
For sure.
Because I mean, even those years when the Lakers were just terrible, in Kobe's last few years, like the Lakers were still the top, like the biggest thing in town.
Because people want to see Kobe.
I mean,
it's crazy though, because the Clippers had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, like Jamal Crawford, all these guys. Mm-hmm.
The one that's surprising is that the Giants is still really the team of New York with the Jets, even though they both suck.
No, the Giants got 4 rings though. They were dominant in the 80s with LT, and then Eli Manning decided to play like Peyton Manning twice.
I'm born
2 other rings
in the 80s, so that's how far back you're going to reach for those rings. Okay, now the Eli ones are recent, so I'll give you that.
Yeah, at least the Giants have hit on some draft picks. At least the Jets. I don't think the Giants would have missed on Warren Sapp like the Jets did.
I'm going to go ahead and throw this out, even though this is a basketball show. I think Saquon's a bust. Like, is it not time to say he's a bust? I mean, he had less yards than carry one game year before
than
last.
Ben Roethlisberger.
and then he got hurt, was out for the year. He didn't do anything last year. I think he got hurt again last year, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he might have. But hey, you know what? Evan Neal is going to change things for that Giants.
As soon as he did the commercial, those Campbell's commercial about having the big legs and big arms or whatever, and eating it, it's like it was done. He's done for.
AJ Dillon's quads are better, and we don't have to discuss that. But AJ Dillon's quads better than Saquon's.
Speaking of quads, let's talk about the quad stat line from the Heat last night, getting points, rebounds, steals, assists from my man Bam last night, who was
Kentucky proud.
Man, Bam. Like, were we not entertained by that game? I actually got to watch pretty much that whole game, and I was so excited about it. Bam dominated. I love the announcer finally saying that Bam wants the ball on every possession. And, here, I'm going to say this because I thought it was funny. Everyone that I see, like, putting these things out on any type of media, Bleacher Report, ESPN, you name it, they're like, Bam finally showed up on the game that he needed to. He didn't show up because of this was his coming out game. He showed up because he had to. Like, there was no Jimmy Butler. I mean, that's what your superstars do. When they have to step up, they step up. And so, I mean, everybody's like, oh, he showed up at the right time. No, he showed up because he had to. Like, that was just him filling in the void of no Butler. So Bam obviously can do this. I'd like to see a more consistent base on that. Hopefully we get more of that. Excuse me. Hopefully Eric is in the huddle now and their practice, whatever. Say, okay, Bam, like, we getting this many shots out of you after last night. We've seen this many shots. We're going to raise plays through you to try to get you going more, because I think that's going to open up 3 points even more. I want to go in deeper to that. As far as the whole game, I don't want to just stay on Bam just because he's my guy. Love him. Shout out Bam. UK, Big Blue Nation, whole 9 yards of that. But what y'all think of the game? Let's go with you. What you got, Nick?
I'll start off.
What are you doing there?
Freaking Dwight Powell just went all over the back on Kevon Looney, and they didn't call nothing.
Oh, mine's not even back yet. They're showing shot selections here.
I'll start off first by saying I feel like that was a huge win for the Miami Heat. They showed a lot of resiliency. Yes, they were up by 26. Yes, Butler went down, but the thing is though, they almost choked that lead bad. Like it was bad. Yeah. Jaylen Brown was playing great. I think he cut it at one point down to 1. But when you also look at that game, when you also look at that game, you also got to look at and say that the Celtics turned the ball over too much. They had upwards of 23, 24 turnovers.
I think. In the starting 5, I think there were 22 turnovers in the starting 5.
Like it was bad. It was a bad performance by the Celtics, because if we're being honest, if you're in the playoffs and if you turn the ball over 20 plus times, you're not winning that game. I mean, or it's very hard to win that game because you put yourself behind the 8 ball. And you also got to look at it and from a standpoint of, like Michael mentioned, Bam Adebayo finally stepped up because he had to. And then when you also look at it, he was able to get more shots. You look at in the first 2 games, he only had 16 points, but he didn't really get up a lot of shots. He really wasn't, that one guy. But once Butler went down, Bam Adebayo had to step up, and he rightfully did. And you also have to look at it from a standpoint of also, if you're the Boston Celtics, yeah, you were down 26, but if you're able to cut it to a single-digit point game and had a chance to win, you also got to look at it on a high note. It's like, yeah, you know what? We may have lost game 3. We may be down 2-1, but game 4, if we could play cleaner basketball, we're right back in that series. And one thing I will also highlight for that game, Tatum got locked up. Tatum wasn't doing anything against the Miami Heat. I mean, he was pretty much stopped. Now, Jaylen Brown played phenomenal. That was pretty much the only bright spot for the Celtics, was Jaylen Brown playing, unbelievable basketball. And, if you're the Boston Celtics, you got to win game 4. You can't afford to go down 3-1 heading back to Miami. Because if we're being honest, if the Celtics lose game 4 and they fall down 3-1 against Miami, they're not going back to Boston for game 6, because the Heat are going to close it out in game 5 in Miami. Now, one thing I will say as well is we have to be concerned about Jimmy Butler and the extent of his injury, because if it's at a point to where Jimmy Butler maybe because if Jimmy Butler's back in Game 4, I think the Heat have a chance in Game 4. But if Jimmy Butler cannot play Game 4, the Celtics better take that game. Like if you're the Boston Celtics, if Jimmy Butler, Russell Westbrook to the Knicks, if the Lakers decide to let him go, oh no, you know that's not going to happen. That would never happen. If that were to happen, I think CJ would strip his fandom immediately. If that were to happen. I would laugh, and then I'd tell CJ, "I'm sorry, pal. That's your problem now." But that would never happen. But anyways, back onto the Eastern Conference Finals. I do think though that it has been exciting. You look at the first 2 games, even on the previous Game 3, it's been very back and forth. You saw a very lopsided Game 1 win by the Heat, and then you saw on the flip side of Game 2, the Celtics just completely dominate the Heat. And then you look at on Game 3, you look at the Miami Heat off to a hot, dominant start, but then Butler gets hurt with the leg injury, and then the Celtics come rallying back. So Game 4
as of right now, Butler says he's playing, so that's good. But what I kind of want to get into is, let me ask you just straight like this, and I'm going to ask you, CJ, did we not? I don't want to say I'm leading on one question. Who played better last night? As far as team-wise. Okay, yeah. To me, it's almost obvious that Miami played better. The steals that they got, a franchise record in the tournament as far as steals as a organization of 19 steals. Victor Oladipo, to me, looked like Iggy of the new generation, even though he's still playing. The lockdown guy who doesn't have to score that many points. I just felt like even though Brown had 40-some points, Victor seemed like every time that Brown put the ball down on the floor, he was picking it from him. And I just feel like where Tatum was in and out kind of loosened up a little bit for Brown to get open on there because they didn't really know how to guard him. Like I think Tucker kind of went to him a couple of times and it got switched up and Victor got off of him. I think Oladipo should have stayed on the rest of the night. But Miami had 19 steals. The Celtics shot like 30-some free throws. If it weren't for those free throws, and I'm not saying bad refs or anything like that, the free throws is the only thing that kept the Celtics in that game. Like, yes, they did come back from a 25-point deficit, but they made 20-some free throws to bring them up to that. In the fourth quarter, at one point, Miami had only shot – I'm getting upset. I'm sitting there. I'm clapping my hands. I'm sorry. Let me put my hands down. At one point, Miami in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, had only shot 7 free throws, in which they made all 7, I think. So, it was definitely an advantage for the Celtics to come back in this. Don't you think, CJ? Like, if you take away that, like, it's a blowout, I think. And I might be biased on this, but let's hear your take on here.
Yeah, great game by Miami defensively, like you said, like you and Matt alluded to. They did a great job of creating turnovers, making it difficult for Smart. Smart tried to make some difficult passes, difficult pocket passes, and like you said, Oladipo, PJ Tucker, those guys were definitely making it difficult for those ball handlers. And it's going to be a chess match because both teams like to do the same thing. They both like to play. They like to play man, but they like to switch on everything because they have versatility 1 through 5. So they feel like they're not at a disadvantage in any side of the lineup from the start, from the point guard to center. Mm-hmm. And it's going to come down to really for Miami, Bam's going to have to play well, even when Jimmy's in the lineup. I like what you said. You said he stepped up when Jimmy was out, but we're going to need him to play like that when Jimmy is there as well. Because we know how great of a defense that the Celtics have. It's a fun matchup. I'm a fan of this series. It's going to be a chess match. I have it going 7. We talked about this last week before the series started. I picked Boston in 7, and I do feel like to me it still looks like they're the better team. But Miami did a great job of eliminating the things that they do well last night. And if we're going to see if the Celtics are able to adjust in Game 4, and Tatum has to play better. I think, like you guys said, PJ Tucker did a great job, locking him up, making shots difficult for him. But they gotta move the ball a little bit more. In the beginning of the game, when they were down, they were just relying on the 3-point line again. Back to the 3-point, just living and dying by the 3. Once they started to attack the basket, that's when they started to come back, and that's when you started to see those foul calls that you were talking about, which is why we saw the difference. Miami, they played well last night. Did a great job, even though Butler went down. Oladipo, Max Strus had a big shot. there when they start to make a run to keep them with that lead. And I think Boston ties it up in game 4. Like I said, I think we got to go in 7.
Yeah, Miami was obviously the better team in game 3. Like, they just brought in that defensive presence, really locking in Boston, shutting them down from getting a rhythm. Shout out to Victor Oladipo. Oladipo definitely had I think he had like 5 steals on the night, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. So
yeah. I would say 6, but I'm not trying to correct you.
Yeah, so Miami has a lot of defensive personnel that really match up with Boston. Even though I still think that Boston's a better defensive team, obviously it didn't show in that game 3, but I'm really interested to see how Boston can respond in game 4. Like, I think we need a really strong performance from Jason Tatum, just like how we came back in that game 6 against Milwaukee when he dropped like 46. Yeah, 46 in that game 6 against Milwaukee. We need that same Jason Tatum to come back alive, because obviously we know Jaylen Brown played well. We know Marcus Smart had a pretty decent game, but this team goes as far as where Jason Tatum takes them, and him shooting 3 for 14 in that game 3 is not going to cut it.
I hate to say this, but 100% of facts, 100%. I hate to say this. I'm actually looking at Twitter as we're sitting here talking of people talking about the game, and one of our guys we love so much is Aaron Washington said he hadn't seen it discussed much, but he really liked how Bam's been bringing the ball down the court in the third in game 3 instead of waiting for someone to get the ball to him, allowed him to get to his spots easier since Boston couldn't just deny his entry passes. I also like it too, because if Butler does play next game, which we hope he does, it also allows if Bam is bringing it up, if they do any kind of screens or whatever, get a ball quick to Butler on the wing, that whole middle, or the key, 3 in the key if you want to call it, is wide open, because Horford is out on Bam, who has to be respected at least a little bit out there as far as bringing the ball up the court. If you do a quick couple passes, get the screens away, kick it out over to Butler, he's got the whole middle that he can penetrate against with just Bam bringing the ball up. Because you know how they were doing, basically. He'd come up to the left side of the key a little bit at 3-point line, basically getting a butt pick, so I like to call it, and just hand the ball off to the guy coming around. Well, if they come from the from the corner 3 up to the top of the key off of that, and as they hand it off, kick it over to Butler in the corner, Bam almost fade away to the weak block that gives Butler that whole middle. And if the guy helps off, then, Bam's got an alley-oop dunk on the weak side of the rim there every time. But what about you, Matt? What do you think? And that's just me trying to X and O it real quick without even pinning anything out there. Just free ball.
That was calm.
Thank you. But, Matt, what do you think of the Heat's game plan on offense, or just in general?
I thought the gameplay was great for the Miami Heat. I thought they had a great bounce back, especially after their putrid performance in Game 2. I felt like they definitely bounced back and played great in Game 3. The only thing I will say that was unacceptable is letting the Celtics back in that game. I'm sorry, you're up by 26 points. There should be no reason why in the fourth quarter the Celtics are able to cut it to 1. That's zero excuses. Now, obviously, without Jimmy Butler, that definitely plays a big part in it. But when you look at, if you're Eric Spoelstra, you got a bunch of great players. You can't let the Celtics get back into that game when you're up by 26. You got to find a way to close that deal and win by double digits. What happened at the late stage of the game was inexcusable for the Heat. Just getting Boston back into that game, like Boston should have had no business. If we're being honest, they had no business being back in that game. But because the Miami Heat couldn't hit their shots, if we're being honest, if Strus didn't hit that clutch 3 at the end, like near the fourth quarter, with it was about maybe 2 minutes left in the ball game. If Strus doesn't hit that 3 to put the Heat up by 4, who knows what happens? Who knows what happens the rest of that game? And the only thing I would say the Heat have to be better at is keeping their lead high. If you're up by 26, don't let them get back into the game and lose it, because you don't want to look like the Minnesota Timberwolves, because the Timberwolves all series long against the Grizzlies were up big and they let it slip away bad.
Timberwolves, they had their celebration in the winner take all play-in. Everything else was extra for them, okay? No,
of course.
What I'm actually almost happy about is Tyler Hero was nothing last night, and I never heard anything. But the fourth quarter, I heard one of the announcers says maybe he's hurt, and then they kind of did a little span of the bench. and he did have a huge ice pack on his thigh. So maybe that he didn't have legs, some thigh bruise or something like that.
Yeah, they're saying it's a quad injury.
Okay, so they have said something. So I mean, I think Hero plays a little bit better. That game doesn't even come close, like you're saying, Matt, to that 1 or 3 point game lead on that, because Hero was nothing, and that's another offensive threat. I mean, honestly, if you think about people who could take over the game for Miami Heat, it's Butler number 1, and then it's probably Tyler Hero at number 3, skipping a person because they really don't have those guys that well. I mean, Lowry 5 years ago was decent on it. Oladipo, when he was Pacers, definitely could have, but injuries now, his defense was phenomenal. Bam took over. He had to. I mean, that's all you can say. He just flat out had to. Hero sucked. I don't think he sucks that bad again. So I think that at least will be better for him or for Miami as far as having that guy who can be an offensive one-on-one threat. Now, quad injuries can be pretty hard to come back from real quick. But it's against Boston. You get Paul Pierce, who comes out of nowhere in a wheelchair, and he's playing like Jesus out there. So you never know what's going to happen in this series.
Yeah, Hero, he's going to struggle because of Boston's wings. Mm-hmm. They're going to give him fits. They're quick. They have length and athleticism, so he's not able to get to those spots like he's accustomed to maybe in a regular season. That's why we've seen him struggle a little bit.
And two, with Butler out, that's that best guard on Butler. You know, it's not that third defender or the second defender. It's probably their first defender that was on him most of the time there. So that's a little bit different. So, I mean, a lot of factors going into that game. I still feel like Miami flat out played better ball from start to finish on this. They just didn't have that offensive guy that could just be a bucket. That's my only thing on there.
Yeah, and then, just last one for me, just Robert Williams' absence. They're going to need him.
I can't stand Grant Williams. My goodness.
They're going to need him in this series because, like you said about Bam, I mean, he has the athleticism, and to stay in front of Bam, and you could put Horford on Tucker, and now it's kind of an even matchup. Mm-hmm. Horford, I mean, he's still, he's a really good defender. He's a smart defender, but he's still very slow. He's slow-footed when it comes to going up against a guy like Bam. So if they could get Robert Williams back into the lineup, they can change some things.
Listen, I'm going to say this, just kind of toot Bam's horn here, which sounds very inappropriate, and I apologize.
Pause.
But
I was going to say, what do you mean by that? I know it's a Kentucky boy.
What do you say? Tinus, Weenus? I can't remember what you.
I said Tingus Pingus, but that was all related because of the draft. I sent the source to CJ. I sent the source to CJ on the source of where I got it from, but it was based off of his draft portfolio.
Okay, but anyways, there was one play, and I absolutely loved it. Bam got the ball, and I'm sitting there looking at it. I don't know what you guys see on your TV because it's 61-56 on my screen, so it's probably different. But it was the bottom block as far as the TV. Bam got it probably, I'm going to say 14, 15 feet onto the baseline there. And I want to say he had Horford on him. He stepped him to the middle towards the free throw line. Horford kind of bit on it a little bit. Bam pump fake, got him up in the air. He jabbed again, and Horford just disappeared. Like he pretty much Houdini'd him and just made him just vanish out there, and then just did a jump shot and made it nothing but net. For a big man to do that, to me, if you know basketball, that's big because you had that defender shook everywhere, and you didn't even dribble the ball one time. That's what I like. It just shows the respect and the versatile that he can be. The dude didn't put the ball down and had him almost do a 360 right there. That makes your moves open up so much more on that. Nick, I ain't heard from you for a while. What you got? Are you invested in this game going on?
My mind is all over the place. I still keep thinking about this Tingus thingy, whatever they say.
Tingus, it's from when he got drafted. It's from the year he got drafted. It was some fan, and he was like, "Who the hell is this? What is this Tingus Pingus? Who is this?" Basically, who he was.
Oh God!
That's all that was.
But back to this series. I picked Boston to win this series, and I'm not gonna say I'm nervous about how things are going on, but Boston they need to get this game 4, especially with this being on their home floor. They don't want to go back to Miami down 3-1. So. Like I said, Tatum needs to come out aggressive. He needs to come out with to send a message saying that, you know what, like we're here to tie this series. because Boston has all the personnel. Like, they're really great defensively. When everything is clicking, so they can compete with this Miami team as we saw in Game 2. But it really starts with Tatum, in my opinion. For him to go 3 for 14, that just can't cut it for me. Like, even if he would have shot like 10 for like 27 or whatever, like, and he would have had like 27 points, like that would have been a more efficient game for me as far as helping them get the win. But I don't know. I think this all relies on him. Like I said, I mean, he's shown on many occasions that he's able to come through in pressure situations. So we'll just have to see how he comes in Game 4.
Game 4, where's that? Boston still?
Yeah, it's still in Boston.
I think Boston wins this game. I think they have to.
Oh yeah, for sure. They have to win this series. If they not win this series, they have to win Game 4. I honestly believe. I even mentioned it earlier. If the Celtics don't win Game 4, then this series is going to be over in Miami when it gets to Game 5, because I don't think there's no way that they're coming back from down 3-1. I just can't see it happening. And then
nobody comes back from 3-1 unless you're playing Doc.
Well, yeah, pretty much unless you're playing Doc.
Unless you're playing Doc.
Unless you're playing Doc Rivers, that was quite a blow. CJ, did you accidentally say Robin? Did you actually say Robin Williams instead of Robert Williams?
No, I said Robert.
You said Robert? Okay, because a comment section thought you said Robin Williams. It's like, Robin Williams, did the genie from Aladdin get reincarnated as a black NBA player? I mean, who knows? I mean, Genie does as you wish, but I couldn't see that happening. And then he also threw out a comment of, do you guys think Russell Westbrook can find his mojo if he takes, instead of Ben Simmons, he calls him bullshit Simmons because, Ben Simmons does whatever Simmons does, spot on the Nets and play with Kevin Durant and Kyrie in Brooklyn. I don't see how that could happen. I don't know how the Lakers would be able to make that work.
Listen,
why are we so mad about Simmons? Like, we don't even know how he's gonna play with these guys. I get it.
He's mad at Simmons. I'm not.
I care about that. I'm speaking for for everyone else. Like, even Nets fans.
I'm not mad at him. He is that guy.
Yeah, but it's like. Everybody,
hold on.
Don't bring that comment. Don't.
This is Cap. We're gonna get to that
Matthew,
later.
This is our show. I bring up the comments, not you.
That's blasphemy.
We don't bring up LeBron in this show anymore. Oh, I just said it myself.
Pull it up again. Pull it up one more time. Pull it up one more time. I want to see it.
Don't you do it, man. I'm bringing it up.
I'm not. It's all you.
Let's get this straight. There is no Heat without LeBron Simmons.
He's busy saying L.A. Bron.
I know.
With all due respect, Mr. Forge, you are wrong. Dwayne Wade is the greatest Heat. Dwayne Wade is the greatest Miami Heat ever.
Of course.
Ever.
I don't know, man. Udonis Haslam's the longest tenured.
Haslam is close.
That's hilarious.
Listen, I even go back to Tim Hardaway being a Heat with Alonzo Mourning. They even had Jamal Ashburn then.
D-Wade.
Those Heat were good.
D-Wade changed the dynamic in Miami, in my opinion.
No doubt.
I get it. Like, what I'm saying?
You guys are a little bit younger than me.
The Heat in the 90s were great. Like, the Heat in the 90s were great. I'm not going to take anything away from them.
Not the best player in Heat history, bro? Are we debating that? That's a debate?
No. I didn't say he was or what. I'm just saying he didn't. To say that he changed the culture here or anything like that or made Heat relevant. I mean, to me...
No, Pat Riley is the culture.
I mean, it's everything. If you want to add Pat Riley to it, yeah, I know there were some good there. He had some good teams back in the 90s.
Because I could even, not that I'm being this guy, but I could say that Dwayne Wade wouldn't have got a ring with Miami if it wasn't for Shaq being there.
Well, I mean, yeah, but we know you need help though. We know.
Right. I mean, everyone has to have help. Right. So I mean, we could even say instead of Wade, Shaq changed it because Wade couldn't do it on his own. But I'm not being
Wade was like he was a rookie.
Wade was in his he was in his he was
I'm not being that guy, guys. Don't attack me. Look at you all bullying me here.
Yeah, but I mean,
third or fourth year.
Wow. You're saying that as if D-Wade was like a 10-year vet or whatever. Like, oh, he couldn't do nothing until Shaq got there. D-Wade was a rookie before Shaq got there, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah, because Wade was drafted in 2003, and then Shaq went there after 2004.
I have a little bit of beef with Wade because Marquette in Kentucky. So, but I mean, we don't have to go into that. But no, I love Wade. I actually, and yes, they made them relevant in the 2000s. Not the 2 times, not 3, not 4. LeBron. Let me just go to it. I said it again. It's twice I said his name, guys. Let's not even go there.
No. If you had to do an all-time Heat rankings, you would have to go Wade. You would.
I mean, Alonzo Mourning has to be up there.
Yeah, he's
right?
number 2. Yeah, he's
LeBron
number 2.
Are y'all serious right now? Are y'all serious? LeBron is number 2. Come on, y'all.
No,
LeBron is number 2.
You can't put LeBron at 2. He was only there for 4 years,
and he got him 2 championships.
Bro, LeBron's not number 2.
No, I would go Alonzo Mourning 2, LeBron 3.
No.
Both y'all, no.
LeBron James got 2 championships. LeBron James got 2 championships, 2 Finals MVPs, 2 NBA regular season MVPs in the span of 4 years.
Like, what are we with
that team?
We'll have to send this question to Aaron to see what he has to say about it. But I would go with Wade 1, Mourning 2, Braun 3.
I mean,
it may be a hot take, but hey, sometimes you gotta have them steaming.
I know I'm wrong on this because I almost want to agree with Matt.
No, come on, man. What is wrong with y'all? LeBron is number 2.
No way, bro.
But LeBron doesn't get it without Wade and Bosh too. So
you gotta eliminate that, bro. Because like I just said, you need help.
But he had 3.
You literally just mentioned D Wade couldn't get it without Shaq.
I said I wasn't going to be that guy. I said I wasn't going to be that guy. But I'm just saying, like, LeBron, that team probably could have won 1, 2, possibly 2 without
yes, but
one of those guys.
LeBron was by far
I didn't say without LeBron. I didn't say without LeBron. I said without Miami team.
LeBron was by far the best player of that Miami team.
I see you put the words out loud.
Come on.
But, I mean, that team was stacked. Birdman, that's the number 2 player on that team.
Oh, you stop it with that. You stop with that. You're going too far with the Birdman reference.
It's Wade 1. It's Wade number 1. Braun number 2. No, LeBron's number 2.
You better have Mourning 3. You better have Mourning at 3.
Nobody's.
I'll put Alonzo Mourning. I'll put Mourning number 3. And then I'll say
Tim Hardaway 4,
Mashburn 4, LeBron.
Are we not putting Bosh in the top 5?
Butler, bro. I mean, this is a comment right here.
Butler's number 5. Butler's number 5. In my opinion.
That's good. Yeah, he needs to get in that list. But I got him at 5.
Yeah,
who you have at 4? Bosh.
Yeah, he got it.
Is Bosh not top 5 in y'all's eyes?
No, you got a jersey. You got a jersey retired.
Here's what I will say. Jimmy Butler slowly climb out of the list because, he multitasked in the bubble, going to the finals, and we know what he did in that hotel room. And then what he's doing with the Miami Heat right now,
speculations.
The man's climbing up the list.
Done that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What are we talking about here?
I don't know what we're talking about. I just know it's Wade, LeBron, Mourning, Bosh, and Butler. That's my top 5.
You don't have Tim Hardaway?
Come on, bro. Butler just led them to the finals.
Okay.
Well, I know Butler did, but I'm just saying, like, Tim Hardaway in like a top 5, top 6 conversation.
Great.
Okay.
Tim Hardaway, really good player, but come on, guys.
Okay, let's take some formalness on this. So we all can actually understand.
Who else do you want to add? Jason Williams? It's like,
okay.
Well, yeah, they did. They also had Gary
Payton
too.
Let's hear your top 5 Miami Heat players.
I just named mine. I got Wade number 1, LeBron number 2, Alonzo number 3, Bosh 4, Jimmy Butler 5.
Okay, Matt, let's hear your 5.
Okay, my 5. I got Dwayne Wade. I got Dwayne Wade at number 1.
Easy, CJ. It's his list. Okay,
it's his list, of course.
Well, it's a toss. It's a toss up because you can make the argument for Mourning or LeBron at 2 or 3. Like you have to have those guys.
Hey, man, don't you dare do that. You pick who you want and you stand firm with it, okay?
The truth is getting to him, man. Go ahead, man.
This is outrageous.
Crazy, bro.
Let me switch here because I'm feeling pressured by Nick and CJ here.
Wow.
Let's hear you.
Well,
nope,
okay.
We're not bringing that on there.
So you're still. I'm still going Wade at 1. I'm staying with my hot take at Alonzo Mourning at number 2, just because of his tenure with Miami. LeBron has to be number 3, just because obviously what he did in Miami was incredible. I would say for number 4, like Nick mentioned, you have to put Chris Bosh up there. I think Bosh has impacted with Miami, especially after LeBron left. He was kind of like the next guy there because Wade was getting old, getting washed. Then he got shipped out of town to Chicago, and then he was kind of left there. Yeah, he got blood clots. That really helped him out as well. And then I would say you would have to put it. It's tough because you can make an argument for Shaq at number 5, but
Shaq's not top 5.
But I would say just because of what Jimmy Butler has done his entire tenure with Miami. I mean, we're talking in the last 3 years, he's taken them to the bubble finals. Granted, last year he got utterly embarrassed by Giannis, but he was on a mission. And then you look at this year, they're back in the Eastern Conference Finals for the second time in 3 years. So I would say Butler is right there at number 5. But it's
all good. We don't need exclamation. It's all good. CJ, let's hear yours.
Exclamation?
Yeah.
Wade, LeBron.
Wade's 1 and 2? Wow. No, I'll play.
Wade, LeBron. I got Zoe. I got the same thing as Nick. Yeah, same thing as Nick. Bosh 4. Honestly, Butler 5 for right now. I mean, Butler takes him to the finals. Butler 4. Maybe Butler 3. Maybe Butler 3 if you take him to the finals again. So
okay.
Yeah, that's my 5.
Now mine, the true list, the one that only really matters.
I need to do this.
We're gonna see Bam. We're gonna see Bam in the top 5.
Watch him lift up. Watch him list up
Bam,
the top 5 Kentucky players.
Pat Riley, Hero,
Chalmers.
Whoa, Chalmers. Karan Butler. Y'all are saying the wrong Butler out here, guys.
Lamar Odom.
Who was on crack.
The real 5, and I'm going to say this. Now, my list I wouldn't put as far as the best players. It's just the best players that meant something to Miami, if that makes sense. Okay. That's kind of how I feel like I would rank them. That's why I wouldn't have LeBron as 2. I mean, he was only there for a few years when he pretty much said he was going to be there for 6 years. Like, to me, that was a slash in the face.
The thing about y'all is that y'all...
He covered 66%, 4 out of 6.
I didn't know this. Hold up. Karan Butler is actually back with the Heat as a coach?
Yeah, he is.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's right there. Yeah, he's right there on the sideline.
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, he's right there with Coach Haslam.
Boys, what y'all think of this name? He's calling me Vanilla Michael Strahan, even though my first name is Michael. What do y'all think about that?
You need to work on the gap. You got to work on that gap in the teeth. That's how you got to get that.
Have you not seen my gap, dude? That's why he's saying it.
Oh, I didn't notice. The beard and the stash cover it. I don't.
But hang on,
I don't pay attention.
Back to this whole LeBron topic. Like you guys are mentioning, he was only there for such a short time. But you got to think like.
So was Shaq.
I'm putting LeBron's 4 years ahead of Alonzo's.
Like what? Like. On purpose, like
he got traded. He got traded to Phoenix.
So it wasn't Shaq's choice to leave.
He was washed.
Was Shaq's choice to leave Miami?
Right. I mean, he was towards the end of his. I won't say the end of his career. I mean, he was getting older. Like,
but I mean, you guys got to think though. Like, even like,
and I love Shaq. Shaq's one of my favorite players. So I mean, that ups it for me. I mean, that's what it is. Let me get my list first. I guess I didn't need to say that. Then we go. Okay, I've got Wade number 1. And then I've got Alonzo Mourning number 2.
This is wild.
Y'all don't respect Alonzo.
We need to send
Alonzo.
How about this? How about this? We need to send our list collectively. We need to send our list collectively to Aaron, and we'll see what the Heat fan has to say about it.
Man, y'all hurt my feelings. I don't even know where to go now. I don't even want to put LeBron at 3, but I'll put him at 3 for you guys. Because if I don't, y'all are mad.
I was gonna say we'll riot if you didn't put LeBron at 3.
I'm gonna
riot and y'all don't put him at 2.
You really are, but now as far as like the best player, wouldn't LeBron be number 1 then? Like, why do you all not have him at number 1?
We're talking about
they literally named an entire county after Dwayne Wade. They call it Wade County.
I'm sure they probably got Alonzo Mourning City or something before they probably have a LeBron.
Morning Street.
Because they cared more about him. Like, that's what we're going with here. Like, the ones that they cared more about. Like, who meant more to the city, not just this, or at least I am. I mean, we could be going straight greatest player, but if that's the case, LeBron should be number one then, right? Not Wade.
Who meant more to the city? You got Zoe over LeBron.
I lived through the 90s though.
But I know
we're not talking about one era. We're talking about overall, altogether. Come on now.
I know, but I don't think you all realize the impact that Alonzo Mourning had with the Heat in the 90s, guys.
Nobody said that Alonzo did not make an impact.
I got him 3,
bro. 4 years with Miami. You win 2 NBA titles, 2 Finals MVP, 2 regular season MVPs, and that honestly, a lot of people will debate that was peak LeBron. Like LeBron was at his best, like on both ends of the court.
And you all don't have him at number 1.
Well, because Wade got drafted there. He bought a finals. He bought the first championship to Miami in 06. Won Finals MVP. Yeah, of course he had Shaq. Of course, we all know that.
I mean, had we not even have Haslam in that list? Like,
and then LeBron
be on that
top 10. Yeah.
He does have him, not a top 5. He does have him in the top 5.
Haslam is like a number 6, number 7.
And then LeBron went, and then of course Wade is 1 because LeBron went to go play with Wade. So Wade has to be 1.
Wouldn't you want to go to Miami instead of Cleveland?
Yeah, but if Wade's not there, he's not going there. It don't matter.
They've got the great dominoes down in Miami. They ain't got those up in Cleveland.
Yeah, Miami's great, but he's not going there. Wade is not there, bro. So not to play basketball, I should say.
Miami's got some good palm trees. There's some good old coconuts too.
Yeah, man, it's a good place to go, but we're talking basketball. Everybody, this is not. I was surprised. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy.
I didn't think we'd be talking anything about this in our conversation, but LeBron obviously is one of the greatest players in the NBA.
Of course.
So he should be. I mean, in your all's argument, I feel
like he should be
number 1 then.
Is he a number 1 all-time Laker then? If you want to go there?
No.
Oh,
That's Kareem.
Kareem. It's Kobe. Then
they got two numbers.
Well, okay, I'll go Magic. I would put Magic 1.
Wait a minute, you would put Magic over Kobe?
I would.
Okay.
Kobe has to be number 1. Kobe's number 1.
He literally I should have
went Magic. I should have went Magic.
Here's one thing I will say. Here's one thing I will say. If Magic never got AIDS, and his career was longer, maybe he could have been. Maybe he could have been
so
number 1 all time. I'm just saying. I mean, he won 5 chips before. Imagine if he didn't get it. He could have had 6 or 7.
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe 1.
Magic
2. Kareem 3.
Worthy 4.
I was gonna put Wilt, but
you could put Wilt.
Where's Shaq?
Shaq is 5. Shaq's 5.
Shaq is 5 over.
Shaq's 5.
He bought 3 championships to LA.
Kobe, Magic, Shaq, Kareem, Wilt. I'm good with that list. I'll go with that. I would flip Kobe and Magic. I would.
1 and 2, yeah. Okay. I mean, it's era. It's
as long as you have Kobe and Magic at 1 and 2, either or, the list is fine.
Okay. I still feel like Kobe. I mean, he went back to back without a top 75 player.
I think the story of Kobe is why, like, in my opinion, he's ranked number 1 because I mean he came in as a teenager. Then of course he went through so many trials and everything. And then, of course, like the end of his career is like, one of the top in the game, in my opinion. Like, I feel like that's what makes him, in my opinion, like the greatest Laker. And then, of course, like what he had to overcome, like, of course, the whole Shaq situation, they overcame, they ended up losing to Detroit. Then he ended up he ended up leading the Lakers back to the finals when they lost to Boston. And then they ended up beating Boston eventually, like a few years after that. So,
just like what's crazy is in Kobe's career, he went to 3 straight finals from 2000 to 2002, then went to 1 in 2004, and then went to 3 more straight in 08, 09, 10. Yep. And you can make an argument if he didn't hurt his Achilles, he would have maybe gone to 1 more.
I don't know about 1 more because that Laker team with Dwight Howard and them was not good.
Yeah, no, they weren't good enough.
I'm just saying if he didn't have consistent injuries, maybe 1 more. That's an if. That's an if.
maybe front office was. I mean, it's trash.
Yeah, the
now.
front office. Yeah.
Well, the front office was trash because Jeremy passed away. Once Jerry passed away, that's when shit hit the fan.
How did we really get Vinsanity? Like, how did that really become something in the NBA?
Vinsanity only became something in the NBA because he dunked over some dude in Sydney, Australia.
What on earth where did we get this from?
And then he put on
not Vinsanity, Linsanity.
Linsanity.
Yeah.
No,
ask CJ. Ask CJ.
2 week stretch of the Knicks having a productive point guard. That's what it. To sum that up, that's exactly what it was. 11-game stretch of the Knicks having a productive point guard.
I remember that time too.
CJ probably kept count too, praying on his downfall. He was like, "All right, Linsanity, that's one game."
Did you have a Jeremy Lin jersey, CJ?
I was gonna say CJ probably had a Melo jersey, probably maybe had a Stoudemire jersey, maybe.
Melo, Stoudemire, nah. There was thoughts, but nah.
No, you know what? You know what? CJ might have had a Ewing jersey.
I got a Ewing jersey somewhere. Yeah.
Who's your top 5 Knicks?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
5 Knicks. Oh, okay. I mean, we're okay. I mean, you got to be. You got to go Clyde. You got to go Clyde number 1. You got to go Clyde number 1. I mean, he brought 2 championships to the Knicks.
Okay.
And of course, Ewing is second.
John Starks.
It's honestly
not after that. Not after that 94-95 NBA Finals.
I mean, you could go Bernard King, Willis Reed, Starks, top 5 Knicks all time. I don't know about that.
No Melo.
I would put Melo 5. Yeah, Melo is 5, top 5, definitely. If you want to put,
I wouldn't put Melo in there.
Whoa!
I mean, it's not. To be honest, it's not as great as the list as like the Lakers and the Celtics.
Yeah, as I'm saying, because the Knicks haven't won a title since like the 70s, so it's
right, 70, 72. So it's not even on the same level. So when you go about the players, he's like, you don't hear Bird and McHale and all these other guys. So it's different. But yeah, I mean, back to
Melo. Let me just say this: no disrespect to Melo. To me, his list would be with Denver. Like, I don't feel like being on the Knicks list would be right. Like, he would be on Denver.
That's of course he's on Denver. Yeah, he's definitely on Denver.
Here's what I will say though: if they do retire Melo's 15, what are they going to do with Nikola Jokic?
They're not. Jokic got that. Jokic got that.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's that was always a weird thing to me, because he did. I mean, he didn't lead them to the finals, but Melo definitely led them
to the Western Conference.
Yeah, bro. He had great 7 years over there, and it's just I don't know. It's weird, that dynamic. They gave Jokic 15, ended up working out. I mean, obviously, they won back-to-back MVPs. So yeah, they're gonna retire 15 for Jokic, clearly.
Man, not to say baby Nate Robinson.
Yeah, Nate was great. It was great here, man. David Lee,
David Lee, Al Harrington, and those boys.
Yeah, it was. They were terrible, but it was fun.
The 2-time slam dunk champion, right there.
He even finally jumped and dunked over Shaq, even though it was practice and he wasn't paying attention. But we won't go into that.
Yeah, he did. I want you to pull up this comment above, the one where it's like Genie Bus. I thought that was very, very interesting. He said he said Genie Bus is not a good replacement either. She goes with Love Machine Popovich. I don't know if he's trying to refer to Phil Jackson or something, but that's a terrible reference. Or Magic says. Yeah, one thing I will say, it's still mind-boggling to me that I hear rumors that Phil Jackson is still involved with the head coaching search. I'm just like, how? The man's been retired for years. Why is he still there? I don't
respect on his name.
Let's get over the Lakers. Let's talk about this lottery. Let's talk about the lottery.
Definitely.
Magic are the huge winners. Chet Holmgren, either Chet Holmgren or Paolo Banchero.
I like the better fit for Paolo and OKC.
Oh, that's a nice fit, bro. That's a nice.
But I feel like it'll probably go Chet number 1, Paolo number 2, and then Jabari Smith number 3.
But I've been seeing a lot of people saying Smith number 1.
I wanted him to, but considering how low how quick Auburn got bounced out of the tournament, I feel like that might play a role why he doesn't.
Yeah, I think That's a good point. That's a good point. But then we know too, like scouts. I mean, Auburn they didn't have a great team. They probably don't have a lot of NBA guys. They probably don't have a lot of NBA guys on that roster, unfortunately.
Right.
So that could play a factor into his stock. But for the Magic, it's weird because they have Jonathan Isaac, they have Wendell Carter.
Well, they also have Mo Bamba too. So like if they do draft Chet, who's gonna go?
Yeah, man.
Like,
unless
if one of them is a free agent.
Yeah,
Mo Bamba. Yeah. Go ahead, CJ. I apologize. I interrupted you.
You're good, man. Yeah, they talked about letting Mo Bamba leave. Obviously, because you got a wing, a forward or a center that they could potentially draft. So, I would personally, I'd go Chet, but I could see why they could go Jabari because they want that. They want floor spacing. He can create his own shot. So it's an interesting spot. OKC, I like Chet for OKC. I think him, Shai, and Giddey. That's a nice trio right there.
That's a nice young group because Giddey, how old is he? 19?
19, yeah.
So I mean, that's another guy we're talking about. Even like Luka being young, ready. He's the youngest guy to get a triple double in the NBA at 19, and basically they're getting a rookie that's probably going to be older than him. But that's going to be a scary triple. I'm going to say triple threat if Chet can put some weight on him. And I'm not trying to. I know Corey in our chat when I said that comment, he's like Kevin Durant. They needed to put weight on him, like they were talking about, and look how he turned out. Like Chet needs to put some weight on. We know that, like at least some muscle definition on him. I'm not saying that he's not going to be good, but I do think that would help him. He's going to be pushed around. Tyler Hero got pushed around a lot because he's just a timid body. Like he needs to put some weight on him as well. But I think OKC, if they can get Chet, that would be wonderful. I don't know, man. I feel like he's going number one, but I've been seeing a lot of people say Parker was going number one. I thought that was surprising.
Parker?
I said Parker.
Jabari Smith?
Jabari Smith. Sorry, I was way out there. Don't know what I was saying.
What you guys think about Paolo and going to Houston?
Say that one more time.
Paolo Banchero, if he goes to Houston with Jalen Green, I like that combination.
I like that combination as well. I feel like that would be a great compliment, especially offensively, because Paolo can play on or off the ball, so he can move without the rock, and of course being able to create his own shot around the mid range and everything. So that'll definitely be a great compliment for them. My only thing is the reason why I want Jabari Smith Jr. in Houston is because I feel like Houston's probably going to go in a different direction with Christian Wood. So if they do, that would open up an opportunity for Jabari Smith to be able to play that forward position for them.
Yeah, I was just about to. That was about to be the next question. Like, what happens with Christian Wood if they take one of those forwards? And he could kind of play center a little bit, but he's not the best protector.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they could potentially move off him and try to get some picks. But yeah, I think this is a solid draft, man. This could be a really good draft. Yes, it's they're the top three guys. It's pretty evident who those guys are. But I think you got Benedict Mathurin.
From Arizona, Jaden Ivey from Purdue.
So yeah, Jaden Ivey, supreme athleticism at that guard position.
That's honestly like a bigger John Morant, honestly.
He's getting John Morant comps already. I think he could be a really good player. Has to work on the shot a little bit, but he can get to the basket. Man. He can get to the basket. Yes, it's going to Dyson Daniels, Johnny Davis from Wisconsin had a great season this year as well. So it's going to be a fun
screen there. Does that help?
I think it's coming up.
Can y'all see that? Has it pulled up yet?
Oh yeah, also Shaded Sharp as well.
So here's here's the CBSSports.com. Their mock draft from their three guys. Whoever these people are. So they've got Chet going to Smith 1, and then in the next one, they've got Smith, Apollo, not Apollo, well.
Apollo Banchero.
Chet, and then let's see here. Yeah, there we go. So, I mean, the top three guys seems pretty set on who everyone thinks across the board. Now, what do y'all think about A.J. Griffin?
I like him a lot.
I don't know much about him. He's from Duke. Because they're talking about
him a lot.
This guy over here on the far right. Okay. because I'm just looking at through here. I don't see him on anyone else's board that high in the top 4 or 5. Now, one guy I don't want to talk about is Sharp. I could care less about him because he signed with Kentucky mid-season in winter and said he was not going to the NBA. And Calipari believed him. I think it was all a lie. I really think it was just Calipari trying to get him to come and have a Kentucky name on him so he could be another person that he says that he got drafted. But anyways, I don't want to talk about him. But I think it's funny how one person has Sharp going to Portland, and then on one side it's got Ty Washington going to Portland. So we think a Kentucky guy has a good chance going to Portland, which I think would be good.
I don't understand that fit Ty Washington to Portland. Like I don't understand how that would work.
To me, it's getting back. It's almost like a CJ McCollum and
Damian Lillard
matchup. Like it's the same kind of style there. That's kind of what you broke up with. That.
Yeah, but then again, it's you also have a guy like Anthony Simons too, who actually had like a most improved type season this past year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, I like it for him to have the chance to be a star on that team, but I think it's not going to be going anywhere for Dame yet again. Looking down through here, which I haven't looked too much into how the draft is looking at, so I really want to bring this up. What do you think there for the Knicks? CJ, you liking those picks that they're?
Yeah, liking those picks. I see Jovic. He's definitely going to get a lot.
Jovic, yeah.
He's on that same Serbian team with Jokic. It's good. They got similar names. He's getting a lot of praise. Young guy, high IQ. We're able to snag him at 11. I think that'd be small forward when you need some wings. I think that'd be a nice fit. Benedict Mathurin, Nick and I just talked about from Arizona, athletic guy, can shoot the basketball. And Shohin too from Baylor, 6 man. I think it was Big 12 6 man of the year. So he had a really good season this year. He could be a fit. I think even though we went 11, I think you could still get a solid guy at that spot. Like I said, I think it's a really good draft. Really good draft. A lot of talent.
It's crazy how some of these 3 guys, they probably talked before they came up with their list, how different they are. Like here, I don't know if you can see my mouse or not, but I'm just going to say it. 16 on the far right one has Ty Washington going to Atlanta at pick 16 when the other guy had him going as far as 7. And the middle, I haven't even seen Ty yet. Okay, he has him at 19 going to the Timberwolves, which I think would actually be nice for him.
It's a good fit.
Yeah, that would be nice. There is a guy that plays for Duke. I cannot think of his name that I thought when they actually played Kentucky, he was going to be the better guy. I would take him over Pablo any day, but he kind of fizzled out. I cannot remember his name. Was that like
Oscar Tshiebwe?
Nope, it was Kellen.
No, that's Tshiebwe's on Kentucky.
Yeah, he's coming back. Yeah, he's coming back, right? Yeah. We had something.
Is it Win No More?
It was like Killens or something like that.
Yeah, I can't, but I remember.
Yeah, let me look at Duke's roster.
Yeah,
I was looking.
And then one thing I will say, I think another huge winner in the draft is the Oklahoma City Thunder having that 2nd pick and 12th pick. I think that's definitely going to be huge for them because you could either use those to trade up or you could draft whatever selected players you want. Like they got a lot of leverage there. And then one thing I will say as well is the Pelicans getting that 8th pick. Kudos to the Lakers. Way to go, guys! You get AD for a bubble ring. Thank you. We'll not have the 8th pick. That's awesome. And then for the Pelicans, you just got to cash in at pick. Either cash in at pick number 8. Or if you're the Pelicans, use that as a good old fashioned trade bait. Just be like, hey, if we don't want fat Ion, who I call Zion because he hasn't played in a while. If you want to get him to the Knicks to pair him up with RJ Barrett and bring back sign Cam Reddish to the Knicks, bring back the Duke version of the Knicks.
Trevor Kells is who I was talking about.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Andrew Wiggins just posterized Luka Doncic.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at it now.
It just happened on mine. Did they call an offensive foul, though?
They called an offensive foul.
Wait, for what?
Didn't happen.
Hold on.
Didn't happen. Oh, Corey in the comments. I didn't even see.
He hit him in the face.
Thank you, Corey. Kells. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But nah, how How I think about it, I always think if you get dunked on, don't matter if you get slapped in the face. If that ball goes in the hoop and you get dunked on, I don't care what it is. It's a bucket. I don't care if it's a charge or nothing. You got your ass posterized.
That's why you're not a referee.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. That's why I'm not a referee.
Where did Nick go?
I'm right here. My bad. I was watching the TV. My bad.
I was gonna say all I would have to do though is whenever Chris Paul is playing, call up Scott Foster, and then we'll be all set.
Scott Foster might as well have ref that game 7.
No, what's crazy about it is how many games did Scott Foster ref in that Suns series against the Mavs? Because I didn't see any memes related to that. Like only like maybe one or something, but that was about it.
That is crazy. Like Chris Paul's over in 14 when Scott Foster officiates.
Yeah, like for 14. That's. I don't know about you, but if you're a gambling man and you see Scott Foster refereeing a Chris Paul game, hammer any of Chris Paul's unders, hammer any opposing team's lines, just go all in on the opposite side.
And then what's your guys' thoughts on the they just announced the all defensive team a couple days ago? What's your guys' thoughts on that one? I saw I think Bam went second team. First team?
Second
I didn't even see that. Hang on.
He went a second all NBA team. I thought it was a pretty good list. You know, it was all the
Bam
expected
is first
guys.
team, boys. I don't care.
Yeah, I think he deserved first team.
Thank you. I will interrupt anyone who says otherwise and keep saying Bam.
Well, especially when Bam is like the reincarnation of Dwight Howard. You have to be on like the first team.
I mean, I don't even know. I mean, he can even guard 1 through 5 though. So I mean, I don't even know if I could say that.
Well, I say that. Look up pictures of Orlando Dwight Howard and Bam Adebayo. They're literally the same exact picture. It's the same exact thing. It's just like when you first got your fresh haircut and you were comparing yourself to Devin Booker. Eerily similar.
Okay, I feel like they got Giannis, McCall Bridges, Rudy Gobert, Jared Jackson.
What's LeBron? I'm just kidding.
That's hilarious.
He couldn't even defend the title. Okay, that's how bad a defense is.
That's hilarious. And then they got obviously Marcus Smart.
The defensive player of the year.
Second team is Bam, Draymond, Drew, Matisse Thybulle, and Robert Williams. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, you know, they just give it to Rudy Gobert. It's like the Gobert invitation.
I'm so tired of seeing Gobert win these awards. I don't know why.
Yeah, it was like the Gobert invitation, bro. Like,
Luka's foot was in the square. You can't call it a charge when his foot is in the square. That's a poster.
You mean the half circle?
Yeah, the half circle. The thing.
Not a square.
You know what? You know what?
A square? I'm sorry, Matt. Mom, I need that towel.
I thought.
Are they trying to call us a flagrant or something?
Yeah.
No, they didn't call it flagrant. They just rolled an offensive foul.
Shoot, they challenged it. Okay.
And
they won the challenge.
And they won the challenge.
Yeah.
You see, there you go.
It did count.
Steve Kerr's like, we're saving that poster.
Yeah.
That's official.
NBA was going, oh, snap. It's already all over Twitter. Like, the ratings are great.
That was on Luka, too?
It was. Now, one thing I will say, though, is Luka did get a mean slap to the face by Wiggins. It was a mean slap. But his foot was in the half circle. His foot was in the half square. Yeah. Half square, half circle. I call it the bent square.
Yo, Michael's never gonna let you down with that one, bro.
No, he isn't. If I
square and the Tingus Pingus or something.
No. On Backstop Baron, he's gonna go up to Connie and say, "Hey, Connie, have you ever heard of Tingus Pingus?"
No, I'm
he's
not.
Gonna be like, why?
No, I'm not gonna say Pingus ever again, probably unless your presence is around.
No. All right. the things that I do, man. I make a Porzingis reference. I thought it was because he was terrible. Turns out it was because he was drafted and nobody knew who he was.
This is a great comment.
It's a great point.
Bam finished top 5 in Defense Player of the Year voting and didn't make first team. I'm sorry, just to see the comment. Like,
That's
that
ridiculous.
is kind of pathetic. Like, well, I don't know how they do that, but
yeah, I mean, they get a multitude of like guys, people in the media. It's weird, man. It's weird.
So that putback done by Wiggins.
Hey, I just saw it.
Hey, didn't they call like Andrew Wiggins like Air Canada or something, or was it like the Canadian something?
Yeah, when he first got drafted, yeah, he was definitely.
I thought it was Wiggins Piggins or something.
Wiggins Piggins.
Is that what you're gonna do now, Michael? Any little thing you add, you're just gonna add the push and P at the end.
He's a great. He found a great role for him.
Oh God, Michael doesn't know what push and P is.
It's cool, man. It's all right.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I'm sorry.
We'll have to teach you later.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I got it. Later, we got you. But yeah, Wiggins found a nice role for himself in Golden State, man. I mean, Nick, you could kind of. What's your thoughts on it? What you think? Should they extend him? I think he has a year left on that deal.
I think so, honestly. And it's crazy too, because like I think it was like a few years ago when the trade went down. I was like, why are we getting Wiggins? Like, we do not need Wiggins on this team. But honestly, I feel like this is a role that he's very comfortable with. You know, especially he doesn't have that pressure on him like he did in Minnesota, playing alongside guys like Steph, Draymond, Clay, Jordan Poole. I feel like all he has to do is just come out and just provide good offense, and then of course be that defensive presence. So there's not really pressure. There's not really pressure on him to be a number one option or anything. Just go out and play basketball, and that's exactly what he does.
Yeah, I think it's not P if they don't keep him.
That's actually used correctly. That's good.
It is, yeah.
Boom, baby. Yes, sir. Thank you, Google. But
so then, I mean, what do you got?
Wiggins, wasn't he not All-Star this year? I'm sorry, but he made All-Star this year.
He was a starter as well, which still doesn't make sense to me.
I think he found his home. Like, this is what they thought Harrison Barnes would be.
So what is this? Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah, that's actually a good comp.
That is a good.
What'd you expect, boys? That's 100%. 100%.
100%.
That's a 100%er right there.
But so and then a follow up to that, Nick, would be so what happens with the Jordan Poole and Wiggins dynamic? I mean, you guys are already over the tax at a crazy amount. Joe Lakers obviously not scared of opening up the check, but what happens with that dynamic? Can you guys keep all 4 of those guys, 5 really with Draymond, for the next 2-3 years? What do you think's happening?
I think if anybody ends up walking, it's probably Poole. Unfortunately,
really.
I think Poole is. Well, the thing about it is that, I mean, I get it. Jordan Poole is the future, but at the end of the day, you still have optimism about guys like Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga. I don't know what the situation is. Yeah, I don't know what the situation is with that, to be honest with you, man. But we still have a pretty bright future ahead of us, even without like a guy like Jordan Poole. I would love for him to stay, but I feel like as of right now, as far as this winning, we need guys like Draymond Green. We need guys like Andrew Wiggins who provides that defensive presence on the team. Poole has been a great talent and has ascended this year and even in the playoffs, but he's going to want his money at the end of the day. And I think that's what is all going to stem to it.
I don't know. I'm going to say this. Yes, I think he wants his money, but this Golden State team, the dynasty, let's just call it what it is, this dynasty, somehow they're able to keep people together and still get somewhat of a respectful pay. I think you talk to him, say, Poole, you will take over Thompson's spot. Just hold tight. Let us give you some money, and let's keep you happy. When Thompson's gone, we will give you everything. Because how old is Steph Curry? Not that he's anywhere close to being done, but how old
He's about 33, 34.
Yeah. So he's a couple years younger than me, and I know how I feel when I wake up in the morning. Sometimes it's tough to get out of bed. So he's close to being some of that right there. So not saying Steph is done. Thompson's been out for 2 years. We can all agree that Thompson is not old Thompson. He's still good, but he's not old Thompson. You agree? Come on, Nick.
Well, I mean, game six Clay still exists. I mean, look at what he did at Memphis.
Well, that was
game 6 Clay is still there.
Clay's going to be here for another few years. That's the thing.
But how many is a few years?
Oh, he's going to be there at least 3-4 years.
4 or 5.
You think that long? See, I don't think so. I think
he's a lifer. He's a lifer. Like, I don't see Clay going anywhere. He's a lifer. Him and Steph are going to be lifers.
Yeah.
Okay.
If anything, Clay would retire before signing somewhere else.
Well, I think to me, it's a business.
Yeah.
Well,
but Clay, Jordan Poole is nowhere near the defensive identity that Klay Thompson is, though.
And then also you got to think Clay still probably feels snubbed about being left off the top 75 list, and you're probably going to think like that's going to add on an extra chip to his shoulders. Like, you don't think I'm top 75? Well, let me.
And on top of that, you got to
win another ring or two.
On top of that, you got to think Clay just missed 2 years as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. Like, this year is kind of like a pass for me because he just came back of two, crazy injuries, Achilles and ACL. So, I think next year, if he's kind of, playing subpar, I think that's a valid point. I think now
that'll be the telltale sign.
For sure. Yeah. But now he has his full year. He'll have a full year under his belt just playing basketball and not having to worry about recovery and training to get back. I think we can see the best Clay next year for sure.
Right. And I mean, to be honest, like I know that Clay has had a lot of low points throughout this year, but he hasn't been as bad as people make it to be. Like Clay, I mean, Clay is not the Clay of old, but Clay has been giving us a lot of decent minutes, to say the least.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Clay's bad is still doing good, and you say bad, probably too strong there, but I'm just thinking Wiggins has really blossomed this year. Do you all not agree? I mean, again, all-star. And he does have that defense that Clay.
He hasn't been that great. I mean, Wiggins has been good.
Oh yeah, he held it down. He held it down before Clay came back.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, his numbers had to drop some when Clay came back because,
of course, yeah.
So I mean, it's inevitable.
Inevitable, right?
There we go. So I just feel like out of the ones, Clay has to be the one that probably gets the axe because Poole is going to be cheaper.
Is he
That's
though?
not gonna happen.
Is he gonna be cheaper?
It's not gonna happen.
I think he's. For me, I would like to see all three of those guys retire a Warrior, not go
absolutely.
Anywhere.
Absolutely. I would have loved to see Tony Parker retire a Spur.
That's
I would
a good
love
point.
to see Michael Jordan been retired a Bull.
It's another good point, man.
DJ would have loved.
He technically did. He did twice.
Yeah, he did.
That's
twice.
true. I got to see it twice.
CJ
beat
would
that,
have
LeBron.
loved.
You got to retire 3 times to beat the greatest.
Yeah, CJ would have loved to see Brady retire as a Patriot, but
exactly.
we don't get all the things that we want. And also, I do want to ask Nick, because the Warriors are about to be up 3-0. What does it feel like seeing your team go to a 6th NBA Finals appearance in the last 8 years? Like, what is that like?
It's been a fun ride. For a guy who's been a fan since the Monte Ellis, young Steph Curry days, when we had guys like Darrell Wright, David Lee, Beardrins,
Bogut.
Yeah, Bogut as well. Actually, I think Beardrins and Bogut had got traded for each other, if I'm not mistaken. Oh. But to have been a fan from those days, and then of course, going through that development.
Yeah.
Chris Mullin, in the 90s. Yeah, we did. We had him in the 90s. Yeah. But yeah, just seeing the whole just seeing the journey and the transformation for the team. It was kind of hard during the KD days because, everybody just got on the bandwagon. But obviously, as you know, after the KD era, we saw so many people switch sides. So it's all good. Keep your energy over there. But
why would they switch? You made it to 3 NBA Finals and won twice.
Well, I mean, right after KD left, we sucked. We were terrible. We only won 15 games in 2020.
Because you guys were full of injuries. Like you didn't have Clay for 2 years. Like
a lot of people still switched. A lot of people still did. So for us to go through those transformation periods, and now us possibly, I'm not gonna call it yet. I know we're going up 3-0, but we still have another game to win. But
there's no way you're gonna blow a 3-0 lead.
Come on, man.
There's no way. There's mathematically.
Draymond's gonna get another technical this game. He's gonna be out.
I'll tell you this.
He's going to hurt his ankle now. He's out.
There's no LeBron and Kyrie on that.
There's no LeBron, Kyrie. This is only Luka Doncic, and that's it. Because the Mavs.
I'll tell you this though. I'll tell you this. Even though we are going up 3-0, we're for sure not sweeping them, because I don't know what it is. Anytime the Warriors go up 3-0, we just somehow get blown out in Game 4. We saw it with the Denver series in the first round, and I don't know what it is with this. I mean, anytime we go up 3-0,
Game 4.
We did, but we were also down by 20 as well. We had to come back.
Yeah,
so
we'll see. But I just want to how does it feel? 6-time make it to the
Oh, it's
final
great.
game,
It's definitely great. But the one thing I will say is that, our team doesn't have the defensive personnel that the Miami Heat or the Boston Celtics have. Now, that is one thing that I am fearful of. But we do have the star power that will make up for it.
I think.
I still think the winner is coming from the East.
Well, you're probably pulling for the Heat just so you can see the Kentucky boys win something.
Well, yeah, that's who I'm pulling for. But I think even Boston
isn't the Miami Heat your team just because they have all those Kentucky players?
I mean, they should be your team because they have all those Kentucky players. They're great. Number one in the East. A few games from the finals. I mean, why wouldn't you?
I think for the Warriors, man.
I was gonna say because I remember when the Heat were in the NBA Finals in 2020. I didn't really see any Michael references of the Heat. At least I don't think I did. I mean, who knows? Maybe I did.
Oh, you can definitely go back. The receipts are there. I promise you that because I.
Oh, great! Here we go. The Mavs are going on a run with a minute left.
I thought you was talking to me, Nick. I was like,
no.
Here we go. Michael's trying to check in of him being the Heat fan.
They're up 8. Look at that.
They're 5.
Now we're up 5.
You'll be good.
Okay. All right, good.
Y'all are just now up 5.
I'm sorry. This team just be stressing me out, dog. This team be stressing me out bad.
Legit understand that, but it's just so weird because you would think this being the most veteran team out there that's in the Final Four, if you will, you would think they would be able to take care of the ball. But, that's not 3. Oh, nice. I like that by Poole looking at the guy in the cowboy hat.
I just think the Warriors, man, we got to be grateful, fan, for this run right now. I mean, we just got to be grateful. We're watching one of the greatest shooters ever. We're just watching the greatest shooter ever.
Jordan Poole.
Yeah, right. Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan Poole. Go crazy. It's just, Steph Curry is special player.
Nick's had a great run for the last 8 years. He gets to make the NBA Finals 6 times. CJ only had 11 games with insanity.
You want to know what's so funny about this? I remember. I think it was back in 20. This is probably back in 2012. I had a conversation with my friend because my friend was a Bulls fan, and obviously we all know Derrick Rose was at the top. At that time, he was the MVP and everything. And I told him, I was like, yo, Steph Curry's going to get a ring before D Rose. And he was like, nah, you bugging.
Oh, no way.
And now look.
You got to put context in that, though.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
We got it.
Nick over here being like, man, look what I just dropped.
That was literally how it was. That was literally how it was. So you know what? I think Steph did an interview on some show on ESPN, and he said that one day that they were going to win a title. And I remember texting my friend. I was like, oh yeah, you saw that? And he was like, nah, man. I was like, all right, cool. I guarantee you, he's going to win one before D Rose. And that's what happened.
We also didn't expect his knee to just fold.
That's true. And look, I'm a huge fan of D Rose. I'm going on record saying that D Rose's MVP year is better than Westbrook's MVP year. A lot of people disagree because Westbrook had the triple double, averaged a triple double that year.
And you also have to think, wasn't that also the same year the Bulls went to the Eastern Conference Finals, and Russ got bounced in the first round as a 6th seed?
Yeah, but it's still a regular season award, so you kind of
what year was that? That was 2011 when D Rose won.
Because 2011 D Rose won the MVP because I think he was the youngest. I think they said he was the youngest. He was the youngest winner to ever win the MVP because the Bulls were actually better than the Heat that year because the Bulls had 60 wins and the Heat had 56 or 54. They were close. But then
I just want to back up a little bit here if y'all don't care. So I'm in the wrong to say Alonzo Mourning means more than LeBron to the Heat. But y'all aren't really jumping on Nick to say that D Rose wasn't going to win one before Steph if he didn't get hurt.
No, I was going. Yeah, I was
okay. Because did you really think that, Nick? That if D Rose didn't get hurt,
Nick, I know Nick did.
Well, I'll say this though. I think
Nick had to go full support for his Warrior boys. He had to.
It was a risk.
The biggest risk. That's turned into.
And you got to think though, around that time, we had just hired. I believe we just hired Mark Jackson as a coach, so we weren't even an established team yet. But we knew that we were going in the direction. And I'll be honest, like I was like when Mark Jackson got fired a few years later, I was upset. I was like, yo, like what are we doing hiring Steve Kerr? But then I forget, Steve Kerr, played for Phil Jackson, played for Greg Popovich. So he added a few of those offensive schemes and everything.
He also played with a guy named Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen,
Tim Duncan.
He won a title run of winning 4 straight championships, from 96 to 99.
I mean, sometimes playing with great players doesn't work. Because, I mean, if you guys watch the
he hit a game-winning shot in the finals one year in 96 in like game 1 or game 2.
Yeah, but if you guys watch the WNBA, Derek Fisher's the coach of the Sparks, and Derek Fisher played with Kobe, Shaq, you name it, and he's not a good coach right now.
Well, Derek Fisher's on a different
CJ should know. CJ should know.
I was just about to say,
I was about to say Derek Fisher's on a whole. Derek Fisher's on a whole nother level. He was a terrible coach with the Knicks, and then I think he stole something from Matt Barnes or something. So like he's on a whole nother.
Oh
level.
No, we can't get into that story.
No,
oh my god,
you can't get into that. But he's on a whole different level from there.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, D Rose.
What's Ryan Howard doing?
So who?
Ryan Howard.
Oh, Ryan
Howard.
Yeah.
What about
How's
her?
she doing?
Oh, she's doing fantastic. She's honestly going to win Rookie of the Year. Honestly, she might be the best player in the league right now. Really? I'll say it's probably her or Asia Wilson.
Where'd she go to college?
Kentucky. You already know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Every Kentucky, man. That's great.
Hey, wait until Paige Becker shows up.
Paige is gonna be nice. Paige is gonna be special.
Shout out Ryan. Just so you know, Ryan Howard, I've already messaged you on Twitter about you joining our show, letting you know you need to comment on that to join on. Also, Candace Parker, we have been at you for over a week.
Candace Parker.
We need you to join on here. We like to be diverse with all basketball content we talk about here. So
exactly,
we would like to jump into some WNBA with you guys, or you gals, I guess I should say. So definitely holler back at us.
Michael's making it happen.
I'm trying. Legit, I am trying.
Hey, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, so you might as well send it.
That's definitely true.
Hey, if Connie could get Trey Wingo, Michael can get Candace Parker.
Let's not even put me in that conversation. If
bro,
get that.
Let's talk about Aaron. Aaron got all types of like big time guests on his show.
Oh yeah,
back like a year ago. Well, he got. I know he got Siku Smith from NBA TV. Rest in peace, Siku Smith. He got who was the Hawks announcer? Bob Rathman. I don't know if you guys are too familiar with him. Yep. Bob Rathman, the announcer for the Hawks. There's a few others as well. I'm trying to remember.
He had some. Yeah, he had a few other. He had some heavy hitters.
Well, you remember Will Manso coming on with us?
Oh yeah. Well, shout out to Will.
It was a lot of fun.
Big on Miami.
Fox Sports Network. I'll say that from Miami.
South Beach or something like that.
Yeah, South Beach, I think is what it's called. But he came on the show with Count the Bucket here with us back when the season first started and Miami was taking off. It was a lot of fun with him because he actually had to jump off the show to do his actual show on there. So that was kind of cool. So, I mean, yeah. We just as big as Aaron. Look at us. We've got Matt on the show. Mattis the Tagus here or something like that.
Wait. Did you try to do a nickname for me?
Wingus with the Pingus or something. I don't know. I was just trying to keep the flow going here.
No,
we got to stop saying that.
No.
Was it not P? No P on that? All right.
The nickname that I'll roll with is Matty Ice. I'll roll
That's kind of taken. I don't think you can go with that.
Well, why not?
Like Vanilla Michael Strahan. I mean, that's genius. I love it.
That's hilarious.
Michael Strahan. That is hilarious.
But no, that's I never. Wow, that's Sky Logan. It's hilarious.
Do you know him?
Yeah, that's one of my childhood friends. He's always commenting. Okay. Yeah, he's always commenting on the chats and stuff. He's always supporting all the shows. So that's my guy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Shout out Logan.
Shout out Logan.
I mean, it's hilarious.
Yeah, he's animated, man.
Yeah, I mean, my nickname for CJ, sometimes I call him the CJ Strodamus because sometimes he just knows, or I just call him Playmaker. You know, CJ versus the world. You know.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to think of one for Nick. What would be a good nickname for you, Nick? We're open to hear. We're open to hear all options. We got Vanilla Michael Strahan. We got CJ Stradamus or whatever Michael just did there. I roll with Matty Ice, but you know
you can't roll with Matty Ice. You can't make your own nickname.
I'll let y'all. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Like I'm gonna let y'all figure that out.
I still want to call you Brett the Hitman Hart because one of my first memories of you put on the sunglasses and wore the black jacket, and the black jacket and busted out of your closet.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Whoa.
No. That was way back in Unwrapped Bands where I had hair and there's like, hey, you look like Bret Hart. I'm just like, really? It's like, yeah, put on the jacket and then put on the cheese head.
It was hilarious, and he did it all. He did it all.
Yeah, it was. Did it all. It was hilarious.
Nookie, come on, the Nookie. No. So funny story, real quick. My father. Okay, it's a great CD. I'm going to show it here. Going South had it in the 90s. Very old, okay? Actually, 2001 when it came out. I had this CD. My dad came up to get something from the house earlier, and he had that laying in his truck. I said, Dad, why you got that random CD? That's kind of weird, Going South, a lot of country old songs on there. He goes, it was in your mom's stuff, and I just found it, and I was going to see what was on it. And I said, well, it was mine from back in high school. And he had it in the CD player, like in his truck playing it, and it was a bunch of rap music just coming out. And he goes, boys, this is cussing right at me. So I ejected it, and it was a burnt CD that I had back in high school. So it's like got a bunch of Nelly, some Lloyd Banks on there. My dad pulled up to my house.
Oh my God, like, Michael listens to Lloyd Banks.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
He's a G Unit fan.
Absolutely. Lloyd Banks. Shout out.
What was that? On Fire. Man, that song.
On Fire.
That was literally.
That's
versatility right there. Lloyd Banks and Nelly, like that's a versatility.
A lot of people sleep on Lloyd Banks, man.
Underrated
Banks,
Underrated lyricist, man.
I'm going to take that from you. I don't think you need to listen to that anymore. He goes,
Who else was on there? Who else was on there?
That was the only 2 or 3 that I recognized real quick getting through it. So I've got it. I'm going to listen to it.
You should play that on one of your shows. And then just play name the song and see if we can predict the correct song.
I don't know if you all even know this, but one time I actually had my hair grown out so long that I did have it in cornrows for a ball game.
No.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
You got a pic of that?
I don't know. I don't think so. But
yeah,
play on it.
If you do, we got to call you MC Strahan, Michael Cornrow Strahan. If you got the cornrows,
you and your nicknames.
That's crazy.
Corey remembers that. Listen,
for me, the only like old school rap that I would know is I could rap a couple of Ice Cube songs. If you throw on Today's a Good Day, I could sing almost verse for verse. It's kind of scary.
So it was my senior year. It's a rivalry matchup. I used to go to that school, transferred my sophomore year, and it's my senior year playing. I'm like, you know what, let's go all out. And this freshman girl's like, your hair's long. It was curly, and I could pull it down almost to my chin. So she's like, no. Follow me around all day in class. I can cornroll it for you. I was like, come on now. Like, that's going to hurt, ain't it? She's like, no, I'm good. I know what I'm doing. She knew what she was doing. Everything was definitely tight, but man, that hurt.
Yeah, man.
Respect for anyone.
Growing up with braids is definitely a hassle.
Yep.
One of my favorite.
You see me now.
Game.
No, you know what? I'm gonna call Nick's nickname is gonna be the mini Lamar Jackson. I could kind of see some Lamar Jackson vibes. He's got the look.
I don't know. I'm actually about to take these out in about another week or so. So, and I'm about to get some new braids. So.
No, you got to say big trust for the one time. I feel like I feel like that'd be good. got the Florida backgrounds, got the looks.
Florida backgrounds.
Well, boys, look at the time. I think it's time for us to end this show now.
2 hours.
We are at 2 hours. It is 12:45 here on the PM on the East Coast. I'm off tomorrow, but Daddy's going to go fishing, so I'm ready to go to bed.
What are you looking to catch?
Anything that bites, but I'm going for bass.
Anything that bites.
You should make that a rap verse. Anything that bites, but going for bass.
Here. It's all about that bass. No crappies.
Michael's gonna be honest with it, bumping some Lloyd Banks.
That's right.
Bumping Lloyd Banks while fishing is.
You all are thinking like so many different things about me right now. I was like, what in the world? I mean, you love Tipsy, you know.
I like it.
That's a classic, Jaquan.
I like Lloyd Banks, so.
Yeah, I mean, who didn't listen? Connie almost broke my heart on Backstop Banter because I just asked him if he could name one Nelly song, and he literally said, "Oh, I'm horrible with names."
If you can't name Country Grammar, I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, like we can't be friends.
Wait a minute, he couldn't name like "It's Getting Hot in Here" or the one where it starts off like hot shit. Like either one of those songs.
I don't know that one.
I don't know that one either. Hot what?
I don't know. It starts off
on the lay, mama, That's the one.
No.
Yeah.
Even the Air Force One song too.
Yeah, there you go. And Air Force Ones.
He was on top.
Or even
early 2000s. I think I remember that one. Yeah, Nelly was on top. Early 2000s.
Yes,
he was that guy. Like 01 to 04.
Yeah. That's what it was, Nick. The Country Grammar hot shit. That one.
Yeah.
That one.
What was it called again?
Country Grammar. And then in the parentheses, hot shit, because that's the first thing that it started off with the lyrics.
I don't think that's how that song started off.
I've heard it before. I
think it's EI. I really do.
It's great.
Yeah, he really followed the Luke, bro. Wow. It's a bad dumb.
Yeah, I'm watching Inside the NBA now. They're showing the replay.
Yeah, they showed it like 3 times.
Yeah, that was bad. That's a poster. You're gonna see that all over Twitter, all over Instagram. Like that's gonna be there. You'll probably see like on some sort of like edited guy's website. It's gonna have Luka, and it's gonna be like that John Morant poster where some guy edited it and it had like a graveyard. It's gonna be like one of those.
Okay, listen. I've said this before on the show, and I'm gonna say it again. You should not back away from being on a poster, in my opinion.
Just embrace it. Embrace the poster.
I'm not embracing it.
If you are not embrace the poster, you should be there to play defense. Like you should be there to try to block it. Yes, you're going to get on a poster 1 or 2 times, but you are there to protect the rim. Like I don't understand it. I never have. I think me and CJ, it was when you and me were on here, and I talked about the Brandon Knight poster. Yes, he probably should have bailed out. But if you're like McGee or Dwight Howard, like you go up there and you should be on a poster. If you're not, if you're a center and you are not on someone's poster by the end of your career, you sucked, in my opinion.
For sure.
Brandon Knight just had a bad career, honestly. I mean, he ended up getting posted by DeAndre Jordan. He ended up getting crossed by Kyrie. I remember, I think it was like Kyrie's like.
I remember it was a Rising Stars game. And
yeah.
he didn't and the way how he fell was bad because he attempted to play defense and it looked like he slipped and then it almost like he face planted. Like that was bad.
It's like,
and then Kyrie hit the shot and then went like that.
Yeah,
like I don't know if y'all remember too, but like I think
he missed a shot on the Bucks against the Nets to go to overtime. Missed the layup.
I was just about to mention that. Yeah. Brandon Knight just has some bad moments.
Yeah, he has a few memorable lowlights for sure.
But he's been paid $1 million.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it's probably since he was like 16, 17.
Whoa! You're trying to say Kentucky played players?
Come on now.
We ain't Nick Saban now. We didn't pay our Bama players to come to UK.
Hey, all I gotta say is I can't wait for October 8th, Bama versus A&M. And Jimbo better win on October 8th because if you don't win on October 8th, come on, Jimbo, what you doing?
I'm just saying, watch out for Kentucky in football this year. Watch out for Kentucky in tennis. We're in the championship match with one person.
Oh my god!
Hey!
What's the laughter for, boys? I'm appalled at that.
This is a big tennis show here. Here we go. We're riding all in on Kentucky.
That's all right. In. Big tennis energy.
BTE. Whoa. Big tennis energy.
I almost got a little too close there. All right, boys, I think we have babbled enough here. We are over 2 hours, and Matt has been pretty good. So let's get off here before things get carried away. Thank you all so much for joining here. Nick, we'll just start with you. Go around the clock here and give your shout-outs where people can find you, where they can follow you, and do all that whole night.
Yes, follow me on Twitter at NickAndreATR. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at NickAndreATR. Very active in basketball NBA Twitter community. I host another podcast titled Agua with Andre the Hoop Truthers. Make sure to check that out. Also, I have a few series in the works as of right now. Look out for those in the summertime. But besides that, that's it.
And yes, check his TikTok out because there's some good content so far.
There is.
Go ahead, Matt.
All right, my Twitter handle is down below at Matt_Skura. Check out my Instagram, also at Matt_Skura21. Both of those links in the bio have my sports podcast. My great friend Caleb Conant do called MCS Real Sports Podcast. We talk all things NBA and NFL related. You name it, it's available everywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, you name it, it's there. And as always, it is a pleasure to be on Count the Bucket to talk all things basketball related.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Linktree.com/CJames9. You can find me on IG at GardaPod or at CJames9. You can find me on Twitter as well, right, for the viewers at CJames9_. And also Twitch. Stream some 2K, some other sports games. Got into some FIFA as well. Shout out Matt for viewing.
Yeah, CJ Mbappe in the building.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, just CJ versus the World on Twitch. Stop by, check it out.
Not against the world. What was I thinking when I saw
that? Was hilarious last night.
I was crying. I was crying when I saw that. I'm just like, did Michael just say CJ against the world?
Is that not the same thing, guys?
Yeah, it is. It's just shorter. Yeah,
it's definitely shorter.
It's more intimidating. It's more intimidating when you say it's CJ versus the world. Like when you look at it, it's like, it's just CJ against the world. Man, he's got this. But when it's like CJ versus the world, it's like, yo, this man's about to run through some people.
I'll give that to you. Follow us on Count Bucket USN on Twitter, and that's even me and Nick both got that. CJ, we need to give you the password that you get on there as well, so you can get some posts, I guess, going on, or tweets. We'll say it that way. I don't want to sound too old. Just get some tweets going out as well. MD Lawson 00 is pretty much Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everything. You can go follow me on that. I like to do a lot of content with cards. I put just a post on my regular one, my card of the week, do some things on that. Thursday night, I have a co-host on with me. We talk everything baseball. It's Backstop Banter at 9 p.m. Eastern time again on Thursday. And, of course, this show here. I will say I have been slacking as far as putting our content on podcast. I apologize. I have everything downloaded. I just need to put it on there. I haven't done it probably 3 or 4 weeks. Again, guys, I'm sorry. I'm off tomorrow. That's my goal, to put everything on there and get back dedicated.
We're all busy.
So please go follow us on everything that help us out there, because we want to be big, because we're awesome. If you did not like our show, you got problems. This was great. This was a great show. Even the weenus penis are commenting. I don't know what he said there.
Whoa.
Messed that one up big time. So with that, my face turns red.
It's this.
We get off of here.
Is this Tingus? Pingus.
And
that's it.
See you guys later.
All right, guys. Catch you guys next week.